Ready? There's the guy in charge of the range used to say, already on the right,
Already on the left.
already on the firing line. Shoot that sucker. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Chris Marks.
I'm Lee Barrows.
And Kelly is getting some stuff done this morning. So hopefully she's feeling better. Will be feeling better once she gets it all taken care of today. Always feel better when I get away from the doctor, don't you?
I do.
Actually, when I get to the doctor, there's nothing that ails me for whatever reason. I get there, I can walk, I can leave home crippled. I get there, and it's better than Oral Roberts.
It's weird
I
though
don't have
because
any pains. Have you ever thought about it? It's that white
Yeah.
coat syndrome.
It is.
You see the white coats, and I don't hurt a bit. Where does it hurt? Nowhere.
I told you before we went on air, you talk about white coats and doctors. Dr. Kildare passed away yesterday.
I didn't do it. Not my fault.
And I was telling Rayford Chris, I said that you being small and, real, very young and watching Dr. Kildare. And of course, he was just everybody's
Heartthrob.
of a doctor. And then you'd get so mad because you would have a doctor's appointment and it was not Dr. Kildare. Never looked anything like Dr. Kildare.
Dr. Frankenstein.
And that's when I started realizing that TV was just that. TV.
Fake.
Fake. Fake.
You should have went to see Marcus Welby.
Artificial intelligence.
Well, yeah.
Well, he was already old.
He was
Yeah, he
already
was.
old.
So that would have done you in the good.
Yeah, but Dr. Kildare was a heartthrob. And
He was.
and of course, then he went on to play. What was that other series he played?
I have no clue.
I know what
I
it
never
is. Just
watched
like
either one of them. Or any of them.
Yeah, the Thornbirds. He
I
played in
certainly didn't
that,
watch
but
that. That
that was
doesn't
a
sound
waste. That was a waste of a role because he played a preacher. You can't think
Oh,
about a preacher.
Richard
Like-
Chamberlain?
Yes, like you do the doctor.
You're not going to believe this because I never believed it either. But when I worked in nightclubs, people said I looked like Richard Chamberlain. But I had hair then. So maybe it was.
Okay.
You guys,
I don't know.
You guys, people tell me I used to look like Charles Bronson, and now
You did?
no, not me. I'm talking about you guys.
No,
you know?
not me.
When they told me that, I didn't know who he was.
Great weekend following pretty much a pretty darn good week last week for the most part, heading for the fourth month. Can you imagine tomorrow, Tuesday?
Yes.
Tuesday will be April Fool's Day. Don't
Yes, it
let
will
anyone
be.
pull one over on you. And I'm asking already, and I asked it on Facebook last night, and apparently I got one response already this morning. What's the best April Fool's joke that you've ever pulled on someone or that someone's pulled on you? I'd love to hear from you. Give us a call, 910-333-0139. We'd just like to pass it along.
Of course. I'm just trying
And
to
I'll
say.
probably pull it on somebody.
There
I've
was-
already got
yeah.
that one.
I already saw
Watch
your
out.
little post like, don't tell Kelly or Lee. And of course, I just let it be known that I saw your post.
Yeah.
Are you anticipating it?
No, I'm not worried about it
What, worried about
because,
practical jokes?
it's fair game. It's fair
Oh.
game. You start with the April Fool's jokes and you never know what might come your
Yeah,
way.
but see, I don't have to drive away from here.
In other words, I have to run fast.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Run fast.
Keys that used to fit this car, and suddenly they don't fit this car anymore. What happened?
I'll be sure to wear my keys on me tomorrow.
They
then.
don't ever think about turning somebody's license plate upside down because you're guaranteed they're going to get
also-
pulled over.
I also have an app on my phone that starts my truck too.
Wow.
So, yeah, you go right ahead. It's on. Fair game.
Start your truck with that.
Anyway, so
Yeah,
what kind of
there's an
April Fool's
app.
joke? What's the best April Fool? You've had one pulled on you, right?
Of course, haven't
you
we
got,
all?
You got nailed?
But I don't really remember.
You don't?
Anything.
Nothing stands out?
Nothing stands out. Now, I know when I was working for the post office, we had one station manager that every day was April Fool's Day for him.
Uh-huh.
We played pranks on him, but I can remember him going down to the main office. And while he was gone, we took his entire desk out the back door and put it in the parking lot.
Well, that's pretty good.
Things like that. And then he went into the bathroom. And of course, he went in there. And the normal thing to do when you go into a bathroom that everybody shares is to lock the door. And he did. But while he was in there, we took a screwdriver because fortunately the screws for the doorknob were on the
Oh,
outside.
somebody put those on backwards.
Yeah, well, we loosened them all. So when he went to unlock the door and open it up, the door, all he got was a doorknob in his hand. He couldn't get out of the bathroom. We were fearless. We pulled some good April Fool jokes on him.
Yeah, I
Go ahead,
did.
Chris.
I had a ton.
What was the best one you ever did?
Had a young man that worked at the cable company who thought he had a parking space that was all his,
Oh,
and he went inside and he yelled at everybody and said, "Get your cars out of my parking space!"
Mm.
And so the next morning I got up at 5:00 and I put up signs in the entire parking lot with his name on it,
oh, really?
with different things that said, "Do not park here. This is X's parking space. Parking here is prohibited by so and so, so and so, so." About 100 signs.
Oh my God, you were busy. I guess that works.
Well, yeah, he didn't like it. But
Anybody get one over on you?
no.
My chiropractors, husband and wife team out of Wilmington, they had a place at Riceville Beach, a house they lived at Riceville Beach, and they invited me to an April Fool's party
Oh.
on April Fool's.
Oh, okay. Oh, I remember this
And
story.
then
Buckle up.
I'm trying to think, what am I going to do? So on the way to Riceville Beach, I called a friend of mine who was a Riceville Beach police officer. "Hey, you working, Billy?" "Yep, I am." I said, "Here's the address." I said, "Give me about 30 minutes and then do a typical loud party complaint call."
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those you drag somebody out of the house and you explain to them if you have to come back, somebody's going with you type situation. And of course, there was no noise coming out of the place. It was just a normal party and just having fun. No noise. And he comes there and responds. And he was deadpan serious. And he got the wife, who was extremely gullible, as it is. She came back in. Her face was just, she said, "We've got to keep it down. Somebody's complaining about, we were too loud here." And so I let that go for about 30 minutes. And I said, her name was Margie. I said, "I think there's a guy coming up to the driveway right now. Oh my God, he's got a blue light. Oh, there's another car coming too." She like had a hissy fit. I said, "April Fools.
That's
Did
just
you do this whole
wrong.
thing?" And I said,
That's just wrong.
Well, it's
totally
bad enough
wrong.
for her because she did not know when I first went to her with I had pinched something in the back and dislocated one of it twisted one of those little things that you're not
Oh,
supposed to
you're
twist.
making my back
Lots of
hurt.
intense pain. So I went to her and I'd pretty much gotten rid of everything I had in my pockets and everything else at that time because I could hardly walk. But she got me going, and I made 2 or 3 visits. And then one day I started going back for the regular visits after about a week or so, just the maintenance things to go for another week. And she said, "You're not supposed to have a wallet in your hip pocket. Men that carry these heavy, and it puts them off center. That makes your back hurt." So she reached in and she yanked. I mean, she was one of those. She yanked this wallet out and she hit me in the head with it. And it went bang. Metallic sound.
Yeah, wearing high
She
heels.
opened it up. It wasn't a wallet. It was a badge ID holder. And she said, "Oh my God. Oh my God, you didn't tell me." I said, "What didn't I tell you? I'm working undercover. I'm trying to find people who are abusing their patients."
Oh,
She has told that story since that was about 1991 or 2.
wow.
That's a good one.
She's told that story to a lot of people. Anyway, okay, it is Monday. Tomorrow is April Fool's. I'd like to hear from you if you've got something that I could pull on anybody out there. If you got somebody that you would like me to pull it
I'm
on,
already telling y'all now.
come on, bring it on. And if it involves stuff that's mostly legal, we'll consider it. 910-333-0139. If it's out of this jurisdiction, I usually can
You know what we
get
should
back here
do?
before anybody come looking.
You know what we should do? We should pick certain people, like maybe our sheriff
He's got a gun.
Yeah.
No. Listen, hear me through this. We'll call him on air with an April Fool's prank. We just won't tell him we're on air. We should do that to some people
Can't
tomorrow.
do that legally.
Do what?
Uh-uh.
We can call him on his cell phone. That's all personal and private.
No, can't do that legally.
You take all the fun.
Yeah,
All these other radio shows that do
Yeah,
it.
I understand. Most of that's recorded. You hear it later after they get off the air and they tell the guy,
Oh, no,
"Do you
I've-
mind?" And
I've seen them do it live. I actually call a person, like you can get, like they open up a segment where they can have a spouse call them in advance and tell them this is what they want to do. And then you actually watch them do it live.
oh, good for you.
It's crazy.
I watched some old Candid Canvas from the 1950s.
Oh,
those good.
Did you know that
Those
first
crazy
came out in
shows.
1948? Alan Funt came up with that idea in 1948.
I was not around.
Don't they have something similar to that now?
I
think-
think probably
I don't
do, but
watch
there's
Real
nothing that's
TV.
going to come even close to it.
No.
So some of these things were just flat funny
Mm.
all the way through. So I watched a bunch. Late night, I can go through, find Red Skelton, Johnny Carson, some of the roast. The old Carson type, the
Yeah.
Friars
Friars.
roast.
Oh,
Dean
yeah.
Martin.
Wonderful. Dean Martin roast, I watched a couple of those. They're not funny anymore. I guess they may have been funny then, but they just too boring.
Not even Don Rickles.
Or Don Rickles is sick.
Is
You know that Charlie Bronson had a TV series in the late 50s?
No.
as in Charles Bronson?
Charles Bronson,
No.
a man with a camera.
A man.
I never knew it. 1959-ish for a couple of years. A man with a camera. He was a freelance photographer, did news type stuff. He chased sirens and whatever back in the days when photographers could do things like that and not get into trouble. That's not, he was, and he helped the police too on a lot of occasions. So as a photographer, but anyway, that was kind of interesting. I watched several of those episodes, and it was fun.
And
Red Skelton, I'm still watching a bunch of his.
those that are our generation,
Mhm.
they should really go back and watch some of
Oh,
that stuff
God, yeah.
and compare it to what was on television today.
Flash Gordon from the 1950s.
I
Actually, there's some
love
Flash Gordon.
Lucy.
Oh, yeah.
I grew up watching rerun after rerun after rerun.
What is the most memorable? Don't answer. What is the most memorable I Love Lucy episode?
Well, there was two. One was when she took on a job working in a chocolate factory and she could not keep up with the assembly line. So she started stuffing the chocolate in her mouth, in her apron. Her cheeks swelled like a squirrel. And then the other one was when her and Ethel decided that they were going to save money and make their own bread. And this bread, they made yeast bread. And as they're waiting for it to rise, every time they would set it aside for it to rise, they would come back and it was doubled in size until it absolutely was so huge. And her trying to knead it was hilarious. And then trying to put it in the pan. Her and Ethel were both trying to put it in the pan. And when they finally got it in the oven, and when they went back later to check the bread, it had opened the oven door and the bread was all the way out through the kitchen. Those two right there are the two I remember the
Chris is
most.
going to top you right now.
Okay.
With the episode. That was on vacation. I went to Italy. 4 of them.
Oh, the bus,
Nope.
the train.
Nope.
No? Oh, when she got stuck and they wouldn't let her across the country line?
Nope.
Oh, my God.
You're
Okay.
kidding me.
I'm trying to think.
Kathy, I know. So I don't even think I want to tell y'all now because it is absolutely the best I Love Lucy episode ever. They were on vacation. They went to Italy.
Is that where he was performing?
No.
No, okay.
No, they went
Do, 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 do.
They went to Italy and she got stuck there. Oh my goodness.
But that it puts too much pressure on me. Do
No.
not sing Jeopardy song. Stop.
Okay, I'm drawing a blank.
All right,
I was waiting for somebody to call. I'm short. I can't be the only one.
Well, maybe somebody calls with the answer.
I'll give a couple of tickets if they would. If somebody would like to go, I've got some tickets I'm gonna give away today and tomorrow and Wednesday, maybe Thursday. Y'all, if I got any left.
Oh, wait, was it when she was carrying the cheese and the bread?
Nope.
As a baby.
You ready?
Yeah.
They went in to a winery. And they got in the tub,
Oh,
took their
stop
shoes off,
in
and
the
stomped in the
grapes.
grapes.
Yes.
God.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna take
That
all
was
the
good.
tickets myself.
I
Yeah.
remember that. I remember her wearing a little bandana on her head and holding up her skirt, and
Yep,
she was
that's
just a
the one.
stomping.
There you
Yeah.
go.
But that, to me, that just wasn't as good as the bread or the chocolate.
Oh yeah, it was
episode.
this. That one was iconic.
Oh,
This
yeah.
one, oh, they were all good, but
Every time I bake bread too, when I do, which is very seldom, hardly ever, never. But I can remember. I think about that episode, and I'm constantly looking at the oven door. Like, oh God.
How about the vitamin?
Oh, the
Oh.
Vegevitamin commercial, yeah. She kept drinking that. It has liquor in it, and by the 10th take, she was
Yeah.
wiped out. The vitamin. Oh my gosh.
That was a classic.
And her and Ethel, I thought I loved it when they dressed up because Lucy would walk into the room with Fred and Ricky sitting there on the couch, and she'd be dressed to the max, and she'd come walking into the room with her fake cigarette in his holder, and just like it was just funny. And then Ethel would appear at the door. She'd open the door, and Ethel would walk in, and the looks on Ricky's and Fred's face was just. I mean, that was classic comedy.
Yep, classic.
Classic comedy.
Some of the shows, I can't remember which one, but they all back in those days, everybody was smoking. Okay?
Yes.
And in the courtroom, there was a courtroom.
Yes.
They were smoking. They had cigarettes at the
Perry
prosecutors.
Mason show.
Everybody
Mhm.
was smoking.
Yeah, I mean
I'm like,
that was
really?
the
You got to be
common
kidding me.
thing.
I know.
But yet they did not allow them to be in the same bed when they did
Oh,
bedroom
they had
scenes.
twin beds.
Yes, they could smoke,
Mhm.
but they
But not
could,
in bed.
or they could drink, but they could not be in the same bed. Ricky and Lucy had separate beds.
Uh-huh. How did that other kid come along?
And
Little Ricky?
Which was
must have been the elevator. I
Well,
don't
that wasn't
know.
Little Ricky. Little Ricky was a girl at birth.
That's
Little
right.
Ricky he was probably the first sex change operation there was. Transgender. He was a girl when he was born.
That's right.
Went on to become.
Little Ricky.
It did, and then the little Ricky grew up, and they had to import somebody.
Wow.
Babaloo.
Okay.
Babaloo.
Now, I'll have some more details about the typical weather here shortly, but a cold front is going to slither through today, tonight, particularly. Temperatures may drop. They will drop a little bit. Nothing like the 80 degrees we had yesterday. What is the potential for bad weather? Hang in there for just a minute or two.
Mhm.
Offshore today might be best to hang back for a bit. Small craft advisories in effect from this afternoon through Tuesday afternoon. Southerly winds 10 to 15 knots today, seas 4 to 6 feet, 5-foot waves from the southeast every 10 seconds, and colliding with 4-foot waves from the south that are 6 seconds apart. When you got a mixture of waves coming from two different directions, it's called churn, and kind of like a washing machine, agitation. Makes for a restless ocean. Sounds and rivers of moderate chop tomorrow. Westerly winds 15 to 20, gusts to 25 knots. Northeasterly 5 to 10 in the afternoon, seas 5 to 7 feet. Hence the small craft advisory. So they will subside to 4 to 5 in the afternoon. Near shore seas 3 to 5. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a light chop in the afternoon. And on Wednesday, hump day.
Hump
Yes,
day.
I saw that thing you said. High pressure should return
Yes.
before morning on Wednesday. Easterly winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas 3 to 4 feet. Sounds and rivers of moderate chop.
Today we have a chance of showers this morning, cloudy, then gradually becoming mostly sunny with a high near 79, south wind 5 to 11 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low around 57. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high near 73, and Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 76.
Okay, coming up this week, this is Azalea Week. Hello, y'all. It is Azalea Week here in North Carolina, the 78th officially the 78th annual
Exciting.
North Carolina Azalea Festival at Wilmington is kicking off, actually officially on Wednesday, but you can rest assured that today and tomorrow there's a lot of activity all over the port city. They should call it the Azalea City this week. City of a million azaleas it's billed. Have you seen those signs?
I haven't seen
And
those.
they actually at one point in time counted all of the azaleas, and when they hit to a million, when they started doing something, they became officially there.
Oh, interesting. I never knew
City of a
that.
million azaleas.
Usually, people outside of this area, when they think of azaleas, it's the Masters.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Georgia. But my azaleas are they're just beautiful right now.
Yeah,
I
they're
do.
beautiful. I
Oh,
walked
those
in-
are-
that was it. That was supposed to be a message to me.
Yeah,
this
she
morning.
complained that we don't have any azaleas around here, and I said, "Yes, we do."
Well, I was in the yard last week working, and I didn't see nothing bloomed.
you
And
just
he
don't.
was like,
You don't have
"They're
an
bloomed all
azalea-colored
over."
thumb, do you?
Well, I will say, in all fairness, yesterday was Saturday, working in the yard again. I went out and I said, "Let me go look at my azalea bushes," and they had buds on them, so they're getting ready to boom.
Late bloomers.
My sister and I, we call it boom because one time I had talking about the pear trees of Bradford pears, and I said, "Oh, the trees are booming," meaning blooming. So it's been a running joke between us. I'm like, "The trees are booming."
How old were you when you did that?
It wasn't long ago. It wasn't long ago. It's just, we have so many things. You know how you have things between siblings, and
Yep.
we had taken a trip together. We try to take a sister trip once a year. Though the last couple of years it's not happened, but
Do you ever wear like nun outfits when you do this?
that I would blow up in flames if I put on a nun outfit. Okay.
Why?
That's like when I walk into a church, people run. They go, "Oh God, oh God, please!" Just kidding. But yeah, it was late night. We were going to Williamsburg. We'd been traveling, and of course, it had been probably 25 years since I had been to Williamsburg. So we were trying to follow the GPS. You know how you guys get sleepy, and we're going down this
Then
one
pull over and
street.
go to sleep.
And the trees are all lit up with beautiful lights, down this one. And I remember just like jerking the wheel and she's looking at me like, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Did you see that tree just jump right out in front of us?" You know how you get after you've been driving all day. So we have lots of jokes between us.
On Market Street coming into Wilmington.
Oh yeah.
You know, those trees that are right there
Yes,
from
they-
about 17th, 18th, 19th Street,
Oh,
all the way out for
Yes,
several blocks.
it's beautiful
You know,
though.
but
Yeah.
they're big, right?
Right.
Big old live oak trees.
Huge.
Been there forever, since the days of horse and buggy and
They
very,
overhang.
very narrow cars.
Right.
But it's still 4 lanes.
yeah, it's tough.
Oh, yeah. When you get went to a lot of wrecks there. Not to investigate, but covering them. Never forget the one woman hit a tree.
Oh no.
Slow speed, but hit a tree.
Oh no.
And she said, that tree jumped out in front of me.
I'm
And the
telling you, they
officer
do
looked at
it.
her. She said, "I have not been drinking." That's the first thing she said. And she hadn't. She just saw that thing move and she hit it.
I'm telling you, see, they do that. They'll jump right out at you, and you have to swerve to avoid them.
They're possessed.
My sister's like, "Good Lord."
So, one other thing happened this weekend.
Okay.
Happened Saturday and Sunday.
Uh-huh.
Hasn't happened since 2008. So I don't want to steal Chris Miller's time, but
Oh,
the Final Four
Yes.
is all the number 1 seeds.
Oh, yeah.
All the number 1 seeds.
And Duke's there, of course.
Okay.
Florida's there, of course. Go
Well,
ahead.
I'm
Houston.
telling you,
No, that's
I'm pushing for Duke's. It's a Carolina team, and my team's not in it, but I'm pushing for Duke. I'm gonna tell you what. I watched the game the other night. Good Lord, that Cooper Flags. He is just an awesome young man.
You mean the baby?
Yes,
Yeah.
the freshman. And when I look at him, he looks
I remember
identical.
freshmen playing at big league teams
Oh, yeah.
like this back
Yeah.
in the day, way back when.
Yes.
I don't remember any freshmen playing on the main team.
Well, that's like our
Where they
sports editor
They came
said.
out, but they weren't the star.
No.
He's like the number 1 draft pick
Yeah.
now. But you know what? That's my grandson and him could pass for twins. My grandson, who's
He throwed them off.
16, Oh, he's been playing basketball since he was like 3 years old.
Maybe you are twins.
My grandson, who's 16 now, is 6'5".
Oh my!
Yes.
Yeah,
You
that's
put him
sorry,
up
he
next
just
to-
drops it in when he
And
walks
was
up
sorry
next to
when
him.
I watch Cooper play, I'm just like looking at William, and I that's my grandson.
Well, he's
Like,
one
it
and
was a
done.
good game, and I say all the players they played so well together. I think one of the Duke's guys get out on fouls. They put him on. They benched him, and
Probably.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
Well,
got a
just-
sacrificial when you do that.
yeah. But the games have been good. What I've been watching, I haven't been catching them all. No, I'm not going to watch them all. But gets down to the Final Four, I'm right there.
Yeah, but there's no Cinderella teams. That's
I
kind
know
of
it.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Well, UNC could have been. They could have been. They did end up. They were the last pick
Could have been
into
don't count,
Yeah.
y'all.
to March Madness.
All right, coming up on Thursday night, the North Carolina Azalea Festival. They got their first concert. They got two concerts, and this is kind of a twofer because there's Justin Moore as a headliner, and you also got Cameron Marlowe. I'm not sure who that is. It's female.
Yeah, we looked.
Cameron Marlowe
We
is
looked
going
them
to be
up.
there.
Yeah.
They've got twofer on Thursday, and guess what? If y'all want to go, if you can get away on Thursday night, I got you 2 tickets sitting right here in my hand. For the first person that calls me, I got you 2 tickets. I'm gonna give it to
Yeah.
you.
Those are the lawn seats, right?
These are the lawn seats.
Yeah, grab your blanket.
Grab your blanket, bring your little short lawn chair, whatever
Yes,
you want to have.
exactly.
And this is going to be cool. It's going to look nice. So give me a call at 910-333-0139. Now, if you just trying to win,
Let's just see.
we're not asking you a trivia question right now. But if you want to go, or you've got somebody that would like to go, get on the phone, make sure they can go, make sure you can go, and whatever, give me a call. First person that calls gets a pair of these tickets. Now, how else are you going to get a good deal? I don't know what these things are selling for. $45 a piece. Hello.
Yellow.
This is the lawn
Mhm.
section.
You know what else tomorrow is besides April 1st?
Yeah.
The first day you can use your Crime Stop tickets.
I
Yep.
know that.
Oh,
It's too bad it's not today.
hallelujah.
I've already told my wife.
Hallelujah.
Because
Thank
we
the
got
Lord.
we got the people coming in to change out the countertops today.
Huh?
That means I'm not going to have water for the sink tonight.
Uh-oh.
That means we're eating something else somewhere. That's what I've already been told.
I just want to add real quick.
That's okay. That's all right. I'll go tomorrow to make up for it.
Well, you've got a daughter next door who's getting pretty good on that Blackstone.
You think she left me a box up there of food?
Yeah,
or anything?
I
saw
imagine
it.
she'll say,
She ate it. Marty ate every bit of it. Allison is not in town. Marty ate more than half of it. That's the word that I've got.
oh, well, I'm waiting for her to do. That's a good fundraiser, a hibachi meal.
Mm-hmm.
Just to add to Thursday night, it's going to be cloudy, mostly cloudy, with a low around 62. This
Perfect.
is in Wilmington.
Absolutely.
Perfect weather.
You won't be out there sweating to the sounds of
And
the
you
oldies
don't
or
have
the
to worry
newbies.
about the skeeters.
Yeah, it's be nice. Okay, imagine in 9 months we will be putting the cork into 2025 and popping champagne corks
Do
for
you
2026.
Do that.
Given the news we deal with daily, is there anything that can happen for the rest of this year? I'm not talking about wrecks, tragedies, or any of that kind of stuff. Those events that have become sort of normal,
Right.
not even hurricanes, unless we get one of those really crazy storms this year. Is there anything that can happen for the rest of this year that we'll be talking about
Yes.
at the end of this year as we're getting ready to start the stuff for the new year? You got a crystal ball? How do you think we'll end up when we look back at 2025
Crazy.
in 9 months? The political changes were anticipated by everyone who thought that Trump was going to do what he said he was going to do. There remains a lot of concern here in the United States. Some countries that should have become self-sufficient with our generosity over the decades are going to be hurting. The fat political cats in the swamp are in trouble. Those bulging government agencies that have done nothing but grow several times faster than the U.S. population are finding out that there's a president who has listened to the people who are tired of giving until it hurts, made promises that he would address their concerns, and like it or not, guess what?
He has.
That's what he's doing. There are people who are going to have to make changes in the way they live, just like those of us who have footed the bill since forever. Same way we've done things. We've made changes in our lifestyles. Are we going to need an extra $3 billion to give to this group or this organization or that because they really need it? Or we have a president who said, we got a lot of unemployed out there, a lot of people that need jobs. Oh, they want jobs. Oh, they just won't take some of these other jobs that are out there. Like, whoa, the pandemic that came along, they won't just not going to take any job. They want a position. A job and a position are two different things in the minds of a lot of people. Mm-hmm. We want a position. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to add 80,000 bodies to the VA. What are they going to do? We don't add 80,000 bodies, people who need to be employed, and therefore the unemployment rate suddenly went down.
Wait, we're going to add 80,000?
We did.
We did. That's what you were saying, because I was like,
and now they've been eliminated.
When did that break? Right.
Yeah, in 2021, I think it was, 2022. But we're going to add those people. Do we know what they're going to do? Oh, well, we'll get to that sooner or later. What are their qualifications? They need a job.
Well,
we need people. No, you don't need bodies. If you need bodies, you enlist in the Marine Corps during a war.
That's need when somebody
they need people
that knows how to answer the phone and make an appointment.
Yes,
that's what you need. VA is terrible about calling up there.
Will we have a perfect country in 9 months? Say yes, and you're a dreamer with unrealistic expectations. There's no such thing as a perfect country. Will we be better off, safer, more prosperous, more streamlined? We can only hope. That's where we hope we're going to be. That's where we really hope that we're going to be in 9 months from tomorrow. New Year's Eve is 9 months from today. What y'all going to do? You're going to celebrate or you're going to be in mourning? We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Our number is 910-333-0139. We'll be right back.
The 78th Annual North Carolina Azalea Festival is proud to present Justin Moore.
Here's to the ones who didn't make it back home. You look like I need a drink.
Thursday, April 3rd at Live Oak Bank Pavilion in Wilmington with Cameron Marlowe.
Cause I'm getting from you.
Justin Moore.
Somebody else will.
Thursday, April 3rd in Wilmington. Tickets on sale now at ncazaleafestivals.org. Also performing at this year's North Carolina Azalea Festival, Flo Rida, the 78th Annual North Carolina Azalea Festival.
Thanks in part to the North Carolina Education Lottery. Playing and supporting the North Carolina Education Lottery creates a world of winning possibilities for the entire state. Through the fun of play and the billions we raise for education, we provide the fuel for our most important dreams. By Michael Best, a go-to strategic advisor offering full-service legal and business consulting services. Learn more at michaelbest.com. And the City of Wilmington, proud to support the 78th Annual North Carolina Azalea Festival.
ncazaleafestivals.org.
And Chris brought some more cookies this morning, and they're disgustingly good.
What did he do? Oh,
he brought us a wreath as well from the Wreaths Across America. Their trip was, they stopped here last week with their big old bus, which is a big old tractor trailer rig. And
that was
big
very
old
nice.
Trailer. I mean, it's a gorgeous operation.
It really is.
How many of those do they have touring the country?
One.
Just one?
Just one. And
those guys go everywhere.
Every 2 weeks, they have two teams. And every 2 weeks, the teams switch off. And it is. And I got to tell you that one of the most touching things happened right when it was we were wrapping up and they were getting ready to leave to go to Fayetteville. And this gentleman took his wife to Wilmington for her doctor's appointment. She goes, I got dinner ready. He goes, I've got to get to the exhibit before they close down. He came in there and there was a lady, he didn't know her, and pinned him with a commemorative pin.
Oh, that's cool.
And gave him the commemorative coin and a letter from the president. Yeah, it was just, I gotta tell you,
I saw
so
the
touching.
pictures of retired Marine LaRue, Lash LaRue. Yeah, getting pinned, and that was extremely touching too. Yeah, it was really good. And there was two gentlemen that came out the door. One was, I think his name is Paul Dugan. I know his last name is Dugan.
Mike Dugan.
Mike Dugan. And then came out with the other gentleman who
Bauer.
Yeah.
Ron Bauer.
Yeah, Ron Bauer, that's right. Yeah, because I knew Ron from all the political stuff. And just watching their eyes glisten with tears over getting pinned with those special Vietnam veterans.
About the
pins.
only thank that they got,
Yes.
thanks that they got was
Yes.
that.
And
in
they
most
had
cases.
a commemorative like proclamation also. And they said that's, like other than getting a thank you, that's all they ever got out of that.
Well, that last gentleman, when he came out, and I said, "Well, let me walk you up the stairs. You're going to get something that that you haven't gotten yet." He goes,
Right.
"What, a thank you?" And I
Yeah.
went, "Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, you're going to get a thank you."
They've been waiting for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Been waiting for it for all these years.
Well, I will say though, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial that is over in the Beirut Gardens is very beautiful if you've never been there yet. And thankfully, thanks to Pat Walker, who worked so hard on getting that done. And that is an absolute beautiful memorial to those that lost their lives in Vietnam. And if you've never been there, you've got to go. It's beautiful because they had the water fountain, the water that just.
Take your time, take a day.
Yes.
And go visit
the etchings of all the
memorial,
names.
everything.
Yes. Oh, yes. I mean, after you go there, go over there to the 911 memorial where they have a big piece of the beam from the towers. That I was at the 4th of July service that year with my dad, and we were inside the VIP section, which is a fenced-in area. But we sat with a lot of the firefighters from New York that battled the fire, and just listening to their stories and breaking bread with them, it was just an amazing time.
You ever get a chance to pick up a book written by a firefighter, and he's not an author? It's called Last Man Down. And I cannot remember his name. He was a fire captain.
We talked
fire
about
chief,
that.
But I had the chance to spend a day with him in August, a year after 9/11. He drove me. Well, his driver, fire chiefs and big captains and stuff like that, they get a driver assigned when they have to go drive around places and do things, company stuff.
I just saw it.
So I spent the day with him. He took me down where they were working. They were still cleaning up at the time. Almost a year later, 11 months later, took me down in there, and he was talking about all of that, everything that went down that day. He was in the towers. He wrote it down. He is one, you will recall that afternoon, suddenly watching live coverage, everything zoomed up to up the rubble that was there. Some guys' heads were coming out of the rubble, not at the top, but way up the pile. They wrote it down, the stairwell down, and then they made their way. Once they could see daylight, they started up. It took them hours to get there, and there were like a dozen people. Firefighters and a couple of civilians.
This does look like
police officers. And then they walked down. He led them on that thing. He was the ranking officer, and he led them down. He wrote this book, Last Man Down. If you ever get it, I've got it
right here. I'm going to put the link to it on our page.
Great book. It'll scare the
I can
Jesus
tell
out of
already. A first responder's heroine account of 9/11, the inspirational true story of an American hero who gave nearly everything for others, and it has it's written. It's a story about New York Fire Department Battalion Chief Richard
Try that one.
Pitch. Well,
it's Picarelli or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say Picato.
Yeah.
Piciato, whatever. Answered the call, heard around the world. In minutes, he was at ground zero of the worst terrorist attack on American soil as the 10 towers of the World Trade Center began to burn. And it goes into his account, it being smoky and climbing the rubble. And oh my gosh, this looks like an awesome book. I'm going to put the link
hear
on
him
here.
describe it. I was interviewing him throughout the day, different places that we went. And the driver that I was talking about, I was in the back of the van, and I said to firefighter, whatever his name was, I had the name at the time. He said, "Where were you? Were you working that day?" No, I took off that day. I had a medical appointment, and they brought somebody else in to work my shift from another shift, and my entire firehouse died.
Wow. Well,
now what do I say, Chris? nothing.
Yeah,
I didn't know what else to
um,
say. I didn't know. I mean, I'm not at a loss for words, never, ever. But I didn't know what to say.
the year the firefighters came to the 4th of July festival, of course, it was after 9/11, but they came in. They were the ones that brought the beam in, and so they partook in all the activities there for the 4th of July, and they were awesome to talk to, but their stories were so heart wrenching.
Yeah, I've got two guys. They sent two down at the request of the Azalea Festival the following year, 2002. They came in April, and I got to be pretty close to both of them. The reason I got to go up and spend the day with the fire captain, fire chief, forgot Rick's name. What is Richard's rank? I forgot. It's been a long time. Anyway, they set it up for me so that I could do that. And one of them, Jerry Riley, got a flag that he gave me in there, signed it, that had flown on, I forgot whether it's on a truck or it was a small one, and a picture of him on the inset where he was all covered in the stuff that some news guy shot, and it ended up on a billboard. So he had his picture on a billboard up there. So he's got a shot of that, which is included on this flag that I've got framed up there.
Oh, cool.
Nice,
So,
nice.
I mean, it was a time, it was a heck of a time.
Someday I'm gonna have to go back through all my pictures on my floppy disk, and I'm gonna have to charge up
what?
the floppy disk.
You still have the capability.
I had a
They were
camera.
funny back then, but I mean,
No, I
today it's
had a
even
camera.
funnier.
This was back in the early, after 9/11. I mean, I had a camera that it was a digital type, but you put a floppy disk in it, and when you took a picture, it automatically went onto the floppy disk.
Yeah, the problem with those is they were in the infancy, and I chose not to even play with that.
I mean, this is
I was,
good for
I
a
was doing,
novice.
I was doing pro work. I couldn't.
Well,
couldn't-
I'm
could
not a
deal,
pro
I could not deal
photographer.
with something that wasn't going to work.
I'm not a pro photographer,
So I
but
stayed
they were
with
very
film
popular
until
at the time.
2006, I think it was.
I still got a
Quit
VHS player,
talking
so
Well, I've done
about
all
my
that
floppy
stuff.
disk. I'm gonna bring it in just so you can see it. But see, the thing about it is, you could take the disk right out, throw it in your computer, and see all your pictures. Problem is now, laptops don't come with a floppy disk driver.
Correct.
You
No.
have to get the external
Yeah.
and plug it in. So that's what I'll have to do. But I probably have 200-300 floppy disks now.
You know, a
Gotta look
story
for them.
developed last week that I saw that really, when I read it last night, I got mad again.
Right.
For more than 60 years, I've owned boats and been on the water.
Uh-huh.
I'll be older shortly, but I've
like
been
that.
working on boats. I've owned boats for at least 60 years, but
Right.
I've been on boats 15 years, 10 years longer than that. Been alone on boats. I've traveled the waterways, the sounds, the oceans in this area a lot. Way beyond this area. I went up north and I went way south along the entire coast from here down to the Key West, but I've also been further south of that, diving and boating and having fun. For 60 years, I've seen what others seek to hide when their stuff ends up at the bottom of our oceans. That's how long I've been diving. This is my 60th year. I've seen plastic bottles, aluminum cans, glass bottles, baby bottles, disposable diapers,
Oh my gosh.
plastic shopping bags, the kind of crap that we use daily. This is a disgrace to us, to the environment. Styrofoam and plastic should be outlawed within 100 miles of our shorelines. There should be no plastic bags sold or used, none within 100 miles of our shoreline. I'm talking about these things in the grocery stores and other places. What's worse than all of this garbage are the people, our neighbors, our families, maybe even you, who have no problem disposing of all that stuff wherever you happen to be at the time. It's disgusting to watch debris fly off boats, going along the waterway, going into the ocean. The wind is there. You've got, you're running 30 miles an hour and you've got these plastic bags, you've got whatever, and they fly out of the boat. Sometimes they just throw it overboard.
Yeah.
They brought it with them. I don't think they figured that there's any way they can take it back. On the very rare occasion when I've seen it, along with ball caps that people lose. They'll turn around to pick up a ball cap that flies off their head.
Mhm. Yep.
They won't turn around to pick up tin cans, aluminum cans, other debris, plastic shopping bags. Very seldom do they do that. I end up feeling really great when I see a boater do a U-turn and go back and pick up the trash that either he or somebody on his boat let loose. That's the way humans act.
Do you remember last year, May 2024, the 2 Florida teens that were on the boat and dumped a lot of trash into the ocean? And they were arrested and they were charged. I just went back to check it. Is that they were arrested with, were charged with 1 count of each causing pollution so as to harm or injure human health or welfare, animal, plant, or aquatic life or property. And each charge is a 3rd-degree felony and carries a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison and a $50,000 fine.
Aluminum cans, as awful as they are, paper bags right behind them, at least they will eventually disintegrate. Plastic has a shelf life in the water that will have it usable and deadly for centuries to come. It does not go away. An adult bottlenose dolphin was found dead last week near Beaufort. The cause of death?
Plastic bag.
A plastic bag found in his stomach. He was long, but he was very skinny. An examination showed him to be very thin, a little over 9 feet long. He did not weigh what he should have weighed. The plastic bag remnant with a knot in the center in the dolphin's stomach. No food items were found in the stomach, meaning this beautiful animal starved to death, suffered.
So sad.
It's not only those who are on the water in their boats that litter. Those bags and bottles are thrown by people on fishing piers, from four-wheelers on the beaches, from those who enjoy soaking up the sun at the beach. If you pick any weekend as we get warmer, any weekend at the end of the day, sometime after 4 o'clock, go walking on any beach where people have been sunning, burning their brains out. The tanning season. Just take a little stroll along the beach where those people had spread their blankets throughout the day. You'll find every imaginable type of litter on the sand. Some of those folks are self-conscious, and they actually bury their trash in the sand right where they were, just a few inches down.
Get it.
Hiding it from the rest of us, they think. Out of sight, out of mind, at least for the time being. A little wind that comes along. We have wind on our beaches here. It moves the sand back and forth. You know that.
Right.
Sands shift. Their trash is blown not only across the beach, but into the ocean, and sometimes many miles into the ocean. To be a cop, working on any beach,
An ocean cop.
a Marine patrol officer on the water, I would leave the dope and murders up to other people. I've had my share. I would not be nice, and no one would get a ticket for littering or polluting. Not one of them would get a ticket. All would appear before a magistrate under arrest and in handcuffs, so a bond and court date could be set. I would definitely see them in litter court at some point in time.
Yes.
Complete with photographs,
Yes.
stats about critters like this beautiful, beautiful mammal
That's a shame.
who starved to death because a bag, plastic bag, what was left of it, got caught in the stomach and would not allow any more food to be there.
That's just like those plastic rings that go around a 6-pack of soft drinks.
Yeah.
I got the picture of one of those that I took, and News and Observer ran it at
Right.
Riceville Beach. A duck had one of them wrapped around its neck. I couldn't get to it, but I could shoot it with a long lens. Take a picture of it
Right.
with a long
Right.
lens. And News and Observer ran that. A 6-pack ring. Why in the name of, first of all, they shouldn't even be allowed.
I agree.
Nothing should be put on these things that we're going to use that does not disintegrate and dispose of and is natural. Do away with them. The island of Bonaire, my favorite island in the world so far. You don't go to the grocery store and get plastic bags. You got to bring your own cloth bag. Oh, we got one here for you that you can use. You won't pay for it. But everybody comes to the store with their own bags. Otherwise, you got to figure out a way to walk it to your truck or car or whatever and carry it home a little bit at a time. No plastic is allowed at Bon Air.
Well, I've seen more and more people taking their own and their
Yes.
the bags and
Yes.
the cloth.
If
We
you don't
usually-
take your own, do like we do. Take them back. They got recycle bins.
Yes.
Every grocery store in town's got them that I know of.
Right.
Just take them back and recycle them.
We usually, like when we would go to the beach, of course, us girls were carrying the big beach bag. And in that, we would have like Ziploc bags, the big ones.
Yep.
And we would take all our trash. And as we, gathered it together, as we ate or drank or whatever, put it in those Ziplocs,
If
zip it
you
up
can
and put it in
carry
our
it there
purse.
with food in it, you can take the last
That's
part of it. It's
right.
nothing but a little bit left then. If you've got room to take it, you got room to bring back the garbage.
One of my biggest beefs, and I've talked about this a lot on this show, is to be leaving this county to go somewhere, like from here to Pender County. And Onslow County has so much trash on the sides of the roads out in the county now.
Yep.
The city keeps it up. They have city workers get out there and pick it up. But when you get out into the county, and I know the county doesn't have they don't have workers that go out there explicitly to,
Nope.
I mean, these are DOT maintained roads. So, but it is just but as soon as you leave Onslow and you get into Pender or going north, when you get into Jones, then Craven, the trash stops. We have so much trash on the sides of it. And I complain about it all the time. It's just a pet peeve.
There's a thing that judges do, community service.
Yes.
And unfortunately, too often these folks who you're gonna perform 100 hours of community service plus whatever,
Right.
yada 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 yada, and they get to choose what they're going to do.
Right.
And it's you think any of them are going to volunteer to go pick up
Oh,
trash?
no.
No. That is not an option. Here are your straws today. You pick one. See which one you get. That's what
sheriff
you're
had
going to be
talked about
doing.
About
them,
starting that back.
Put them on the road, y'all. Clean up some trash.
Well, you used to see community groups out there. You used to see
well,
signs
Adopt
that,
the highway.
adopt
Yep.
a highway.
Yep.
And you used to see community
I still
groups out
see
there
the
doing that.
bags there waiting for the people to come
You don't
by.
see that
Yeah,
anymore.
I still see them every now and then.
Yeah, every
But
now
it is
and then.
between, it's less, we have more blue moons than we have that.
Exactly. I just don't get it. Why do people throw their garbage out on the roads? And throw it
They're
in the
slackers.
ocean, leave it on the beach.
I know this doesn't compare to that terrible story. Mine, cigarette butts out the window.
Same thing.
Oh my gosh.
Critters get hold of them.
You know how many fires that
Birds pick them
started?
up.
Yeah.
Yes. And who was it that was on the show one day and talked about that deer actually come out on the highway to get them? And I was like, cigarette butts?
Cigarette butts, really?
Yeah, it was one of our guests on the show, and I can't
don't
remember
remember
who. It
that
was
one.
just last year, and said that they actually eat cigarette butts, and they'll go out onto the highway to look for cigarette butts. I was like, deer eating cigarette butts? But yeah, who was that?
Have they stopped making
was that?
ashtrays in cars yet?
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
so. That hasn't
Oh
been
yeah,
there
I
in quite a
think they
while.
don't even have lighters in there anymore. Not in the new. I don't know when that all stopped, but
If you're
That's
going to
a
be,
thing of the
if you're
past.
going to smoke, okay, I'm not going to be able to stop you. I'm not even
Right.
going to try to stop you unless you
Right.
smoke around me and I hit you with a water pistol. I can put a cigarette light. I can put a burning cigarette out from 20 paces with a water pistol. Well, maybe it's a fire hose. One or the other. But if you're going to smoke, be responsible about it. Smoke
Right.
outside, away from any entrance to anywhere.
Yeah, that's another
Go
thing. that
way,
kills
way
me.
out and snuff out those cigarette butts. Put them in your pocket. I don't care what you do with them until you can find a place to
Right,
dispose
right.
of them like you're supposed to. If you roll your windows down at an intersection while you're at the red light
Mhm.
and start throwing cigarette butts out,
I hope you get a ticket.
I hope that somebody will do what I have proposed doing, but I knew I'd get caught. When they roll that window down, lie in wait at nighttime with a paintball gun, and when that cigarette butt comes flying out, light that inside of the car up with
You're
paintball.
just mean.
Well,
That's not mean.
You're mean.
there was somebody that turned in, I'm not going to name the company, but was behind the company van.
Oh.
And saw them throw out a cigarette
Oh,
butt,
good.
called and turned it in, and he received a ticket about a month later for littering.
Oh, good.
I was just going to ask, do
You
you
can.
don't ever hear about people complaining about getting tickets anymore for littering or throwing
Because they don't
cigarette
get
butts
them
out?
very often.
I mean,
The police, they're, first of all, nobody's going to throw anything out when they see a marked car.
That's
around.
true.
All right. Duh.
that's true.
But they've got a lot of unmarked cars out there.
But you
And
can
I-
always go into
I-
JPD's website and put in a thing on a traffic
And
incident.
if you've got,
You're not
and I
gonna
still
do
got to
anything.
get me one. I'm going to find the one that I want one of these days. I swore I'd never have one, but I want a dash camera.
Yeah.
I want a dash camera and rolling every time I turn the car on. It recycles, you know,
yeah, they're
that's not a
very
big deal.
popular now.
I have one. I just don't use it.
You can get them cheap. They're very popular
I
now.
want one that's going to be good enough that I can show the detail, including the
Let's
license
see.
plate and the stuff that's happening.
Let's see how
I'll
much
be
they
happy
run
to.
now.
First of all, I think I'll start Facebook page with all of the people who do that. Wouldn't that?
Here's
how
one
do
right
you
here,
think that
Rayford.
would go over?
Dash cam front and rear for $59.99
That's
through
cheap.
Amazon.
Cheap.
That's what I tell you. They're so cheap now.
But if I could do that, and can you just imagine the people that would,
Walmart, $28.
it'd be bad enough. It'd be bad enough having to get your ticket, but you're being visited by the police. Can you imagine that showing up on a Facebook page?
Nah, but yeah.
What y'all gonna do about it? So,
Well,
well, did you do it or not? Were you out there in the public eye? Yeah.
some do it now, and
There's no expectation of privacy when you're on the streets and the highways of North Carolina. That's right.
yeah. People, I see them all the time
Oh, yeah.
with phone. With
I
cell
get in
phones.
there, I either keep it in my back pocket, my purse, or either I just plug it in if I'm expecting a call,
Mhm.
which even you don't even have to plug it in to get a call
No.
connected to your Bluetooth. But
And by
I
the way,
don't- I
all
don't
those
mess with
connections when you're running up and down the highway with your hands-free devices,
Mhm.
they make so much noise. People like me cannot understand or hear you because they
Well,
got
you
more
need-
road
you-
noise than anything
well,
else.
with my windows up, I'm good. But if I roll a window down or even crack it, there's so much road noise.
Yep.
And just like I understand what you're
Yeah.
saying.
You know, that's another pollution. I got to tell you because
It is
took,
pollution.
took Kathy. We went to the mall yesterday to get her some things, and this
The
guy's
mall.
parking his car, and you'd almost think you're at a concert, and he's the only one in the car.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I looked at him.
Oh,
I just had to look at him.
We talked about that.
Well, yeah.
It's just irritating to me.
It is.
Maybe it's because I'm old, but I find it so irritating when their music is louder than mine,
When
and I
you-
can't even hear my news or
when-
whatever.
when you have to roll up your window because of somebody else's
Noise.
noise. It's not music.
Y'all want to get
Wait
put
a
some
minute.
headphones on. You can get some Bluetooth headphones, put it on and listen to it yourself when you're sitting in a parking lot.
That's
Now, when you're
really
on up and down the highway, don't forget that's also called distracted driving. If you get into a wreck and
Mm-hmm.
they find out you've been listening, and especially if you got headphones on, while you're driving down the highway,
Well, there used to be a law on the books, and of course, someday I'm gonna have to look it up and see if it's still there. Like eating while you're driving is called a distraction.
it could be.
Putting on makeup while you're driving
Mhm.
is a distraction.
Well, sometimes it's a blessing for some people.
Drive at night. You won't have to worry about it.
That was mean, wasn't it?
It was so
Wouldn't do me
mean.
any good. So
Yeah,
So mean. Oh, let
just
me
wear
see.
a mask.
Yeah. No, you can't do that anymore because remember, North Carolina went
Yeah.
back to the original
In
law.
your car, you can wear a mask.
They went back to the original law. Now you can't wear a mask out in public unless it's a medical mask.
In your car, you can wear a mask if you want to. Wintertime, you can wear
Yeah.
a ski mask if it's cold.
see
If it's
how-
cold outside, if it's 80 degrees, don't try it because you're going to be up to something and they know it.
Till you see those blue lights, and we're just so your license plate light was out. Yeah, sure it was.
well, law enforcement does the best they
Yes.
can.
Oh, they
can't-
do a great
they've
job.
got
With the
more
limited
important
resources.
things.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's the people, and I just don't
They
understand
are the people.
who said that the earth was meant for garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It
Unfortunately, we have so many people that they just don't care. Oh, I saw Daddy throw that gum wrapper out the window. Saw him throw his cigarette butt out the window. I saw him do this. I learned from the best, right? I learned from my daddy. Right. Remember when the day when they didn't have plastic soft drink bottles or or cans,
Those nice
They had
cold bottles.
Yeah.
Glass
People would
bottles.
still throw those out.
yes.
But the thing
Yes.
is about those other people would come along with their cars and walk up and down Highway 17 South between Verona and Dixon was a popular place. They could make a lot of money picking up soft drink bottles.
Do they still pay for them?
I don't know. Do they have any?
Oh yeah. Kathy had one the other day, Frosty Vanilla Root Beer. She got it. She got it when we were at the event.
Used to be
that
2 cents
sounds
a
good.
piece.
Yeah.
So you get 2 cents back if you bring the bottle in. So I bring the bottle back. A crate. We always had crates.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And a crate would hold 24 bottles. Well, that's only 48 cents. Wait, no. We're going to get 50 bottles. So we're going to add 2 more bottles to it so we can get a couple of quarters. Or in those days, we could actually get a 50-cent piece.
No,
People
see,
say,
we
"What is
got a
that?"
nickel for 'em.
A nickel.
A nickel.
Oh,
We
you're
were getting
just- you're
pennies.
just
We
a
were getting a nickel.
I should have saved mine. I should have saved all those 2-cent bottles and redeemed them today.
Yeah, there's nothing better than to go in the store and they have a big display there in ice of those small little either Pepsi or Coke in the glass bottles. So good.
There was a store called Howard's Store, this side of Hampstead, north of Hampstead.
Uh-huh.
It's on the right going south. We'd always stop there because that was a refreshing place to stop. And they had a big cooler in there, right? Soft drink
Right.
cooler. It would cool stuff down, but they put ice blocks in it every day. They had ice delivered to them, a big block of ice every day. And they would put that in there with water in it.
Mm.
The coldest, of course, they always had a towel up there, no paper towels. I don't think they existed, but they had a towel hanging. You could wipe it off. The coldest thing in the world is a cold bottle of whatever
Yes,
soft drink that you like.
cold.
And me, in those days, they had chocolate milk in a bottle.
Oh, wow.
Remember those?
Talk about cold chocolate milk. Shake that. Oh, that was good.
Wow.
Oh, well. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. You got something you want to share, or I'm still waiting for somebody who wants to go, who is able to go, grab a friend, and would like to go to the concert on Thursday night. It's the Justin Moore concert in Wilmington. It's on the lawn. It's going to be a very nice evening, 62 degrees.
Beautiful.
And he's a great performer. He's got lots of cool #1 hits too out
Small
there.
Town USA.
Small Town USA was his biggest hit, and I'm sure you've all heard that, whether you're a country fan or not. And he's not a twangy country guy. Okay, you can go and enjoy it. You're live in Local Real Talk. We'll be right back.
The 78th Annual North Carolina Azalea Festival is proud to present Justin Moore.
That's why we drink. Here's to the ones who didn't make it back home.
Thursday, April 3rd at Live Oak Bank Pavilion in Wilmington with Cameron Marlowe.
From you,
Justin Moore.
somebody else with.
Thursday, April 3rd in Wilmington. Tickets on sale now at ncazaleafestival.org. Also performing at this year's North Carolina Azalea Festival, Flo Rida, the 78th Annual North Carolina Azalea Festival.
Thanks in part to Rent-A-John, the official portable restroom sponsor of the Azalea Festival. Offers reliable 24/7 portable sanitation rentals, dumpsters, and temporary fencing for all your event and construction needs. Locally owned and always ready to serve Wilmington with clean, top-quality restrooms and more. By Liberty and Plenty Distillery, makers of fine and handcrafted vodka, rum, whiskey, and gin. And a proud sponsor of the North Carolina Azalea Festival. Take a sip and enjoy with spirited curiosity. And by the U.S. Army. Be all you can be with the U.S. Army. Discover careers and opportunities you never knew existed at GoArmy.com.
Go Army. Go Army. GoArmy.com. Yeah, okay. Wonder if they'd take me today. I mean, without laughing.
My dad, up to the day that he passed away, he kept saying, I want to go back. I want to go back. He said, they've got to let me do something. And I was like,
Oh, God, I
"Man."
would love to.
He would have gone too.
Can you imagine them just giving me the opportunity to drive the boats today?
Right.
I'd love to be able to work that 31-footer in the Coast Guard.
Right.
Those are nice boats. Nice boats. You know the one I never wanted to do anything with? First of all, anything on the West Coast and Pacific Northwest. No. That water there is never calm.
Mm-hmm.
Never, ever calm. And they got guys, swimmers in the Coast Guard are some of the most unsung heroes there are. They drop from a helicopter into a swirling, not a rough sea, a swirling sea, 20-foot waves to pull people, rescue them, get them up, get them off of a floundering boat, hook them up and let them pull them up, and you wait down there, and hopefully they'll come back and pick you up too. But these guys, no, that's some of the toughest people in the world. I don't want to jump out of I don't even want to be in a helicopter. But if I got to be in one, I want it to be a military copter, a helicopter.
Have you ever flown in one?
Flown in military helicopters?
No, just flown in a helicopter.
Oh, lots of helicopters.
Well, not too long ago, he took a helicopter, right? Well, a
Yeah, I
year
took a
ago,
ride from-
2 years ago.
Oh, okay. Outside of medical.
Yes. I've flown in a lot of civilian and a lot of military. 3 of the civilian helicopters I've flown in crashed. Not while I was on board.
Wow.
See, all right, I'm done with helicopters. Next.
The last one crashed on it was either Monday or Tuesday after I had flown on that helicopter on the previous Saturday.
Right.
It crashed and burned, and fatalities. Got pictures of me getting aboard that helicopter. Robbie went with me, and she took some pictures of me getting aboard the helicopter that day.
Yeah.
I swore I wouldn't do another one. I've only done one, and that's because they wouldn't let me ride to Newbern.
I'm
I just no.
helicopter.
No.
It took me
No.
well into my adulthood before I had the nerve to get on an airplane. And when I did the first part of the journey from Wilmington to Charlotte, freaked me out. But after I landed, I realized, oh, okay. And I became a seasoned traveler.
Oh, okay.
The second leg of the journey, I was kicked back like, yeah, bring it on, And like I knew everything. And like, I don't need to go over the regulations or the seating and everything.
When they dropped the landing gear and it went bump and you went,
No, like I said, the first leg of the journey,
seen people do that.
Well, I got on there and they were like, we need some people willing to go to the back because we don't have enough people. We've got to distribute the weight. I was the first one to go back. I was like, oh, I want to help distribute the weight, And I was petrified, but this nice lady sitting next to me and a stewardess knew.
It's okay.
They coaxed me through it. And after, and I actually had the nerve to look out the window as we were landing. And I was like, okay, this is cool. I mean, because like when I first got on there and, they say, in the seat in front of you, the back of the seat in front of you is a list of what to do in case of an emergency. And I was just like fanning through the pages. Wait a minute, what page was that? I was just panicked. But after that, I was cool. I was really cool.
Answered that question.
Yeah.
I didn't think anybody ever reads those things.
Oh, I read. I had
You
it.
could always tell somebody that first time flying or somebody who's a nervous nanny.
Yeah.
When they get there, the first thing they do is sit down and they tighten that seatbelt. So
Yeah.
tight. I mean, the rest of the body comes up, looks like a
Can
bodybuilder.
hardly breathe. You're like,
And they do that, and then they pull that seat out and they look at this, and there you see them looking around. Oh, okay, there's an exit.
there's the
Now,
exit, right?
Okay,
What number am
there's
I?
an exit
Yeah.
right there too. Okay, that guy's in the he's sitting there in the row, the
Right.
exit row. I don't think he can help people out. I'm gonna go to the other one.
Hey, not where the bathroom is, but where the exit door is.
absolutely.
I mean, you didn't care about,
That's
but it just, after that first leg of the journey, I was fine after that. Do I still get nervous when I get on a, oh yeah. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you hit a pocket of turbulence and you think, I'm dying today. I mean,
A friend of mine had 2 Roby helicopters, Robinson, made by a company called Robinson. One's a 22,
mhm.
which was a 2-seater. The other one was a 44. Guess what that was? A 4-seater. Well, the 4-seater was always a smoother ride to me, and I had a little
Right.
bit more room to maneuver around and get up when I'm shooting photos. So I not get up, but to move around, just more room up front. So I had booked the 44 to shoot some pictures of the state ports in Moorhead because it was going to be a long ride. All the way from Wilmington to Moorhead by helicopter. It's kind of slow because you can't go straight. Then we'll let you fly over Camp Lejeune. You got to go inland and back around and come back. And that was the issue. So back in those days, wasn't that far after 9/11, but he called me the day before and said, "Listen, I got the guys with the fire company. They 3 of them want to fly tomorrow. The day I was scheduled to fly. Is there any way I can put you over into the 22? Sure, I'm not a problem. You can make money
Right.
by doing that." And he said, "I'll take care of you." I said, "Okay." So I flew up to Moorhead. Got my pictures. We landed over at Beaufort Field there and took the doors off the helicopter so I can shoot out of the side of it.
Right.
That worries some people, but it doesn't bother me. Took the door off and landed back, put the door on, filled up with fuel, and headed back. On the way back, we got probably 20 minutes out of Wilmington, and the 44 was calling the Mayday.
Good Lord.
They were coming in for a crash. They had a problem on board, and they were coming in. And yes, they did a hard sit down and crash, and they all were injured. Nobody was seriously injured.
Right.
But that was my helicopter for the same day that I would have been on. I said, "Oh my God." Okay, and then after that one, the when the one that crashed and burned a couple of days after I was on board, I said, "Nope, I will fly a fixed wing from now on. It'll take a little longer to get the pictures, but it's okay, not a problem. We can circle around and around and around as long as I need to till I get the pictures."
Well, Rayford, we had another single engine plane
I don't
crash
want to hear about it.
Saturday.
Don't want to talk about it.
I saw the video
No.
of that. It just like fell out of the sky. It was in Minnesota. The pilot was about 1 mile from his destination airport.
Yeah.
And it just, you could
Did
see.
he run out of fuel like the ones that wrestlers did in 1974 coming into
Oh.
Wilmington?
Oh, I don't know, but this one was going in a straight path towards the
Missed it by
airport.
that much.
Then all of a sudden on flight radar, you see it make a sharp left. And no sooner after it made the sharp left, it went down and it came straight down
Mhm.
and hit a house, went into a house. The occupants of the house.
They were on vacation.
Yeah, no, they said
Oh.
they were home, but they weren't injured.
Oh.
But I'm still trying to figure that one out.
It-
How do you get out of your houses, Jennifer, without getting injured after? I don't know. It's still under
Yeah.
investigation.
Rayford, yours, the one you were talking about, probably the most famous wrestler people know today, Ric
Ric
Flair.
Flair.
He was on it
Yes.
with
Yes, he was.
Johnny
I
Valentine.
was there. I was in Wilmington. I was working here, but I was getting an award from the Associated Press, and they had the meeting at the Blockade Runner that night.
Mhm.
A room full of well-dressed reporters. Can you imagine? We get the call. We vacated. We left our significant others. Everybody was left behind that wasn't a news person, and we all got in our vehicles and took off. I got there, and I'll never forget one firefighter said, "This is the best dressed plane crash I've ever seen." It's like,
Wow.
happened just before the airport and on the prison yard, 025 prison. I think it's 025, whatever it is. The number there, the North Carolina Department of Corrections unit.
Mhm.
It happened on their lawn out
Yeah.
there, not inside,
Wow.
but on that.
That was crazy.
And that's right across the street from the airport. They ran out of gas.
Yeah.
Missed it by them. Those wrestlers were too heavy. Jennifer.
Hey, cousin.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Terry, I said I'm going to call in and tell them my funny first. I heard Lee talking about the first time she flew. So the first time and you would have just had to know my dad. My dad had the best twisted sense of humor of anybody in the world. I mean, he
Wish I had known him.
that was his personality. And so I had just turned 21 in July, and I was making my first plane trip to Jacksonville, North Carolina
Oh, wow.
in September. So I had been legal for like 2 months. So Dad takes me up here to Tri-Cities Airport, and I'm just as nervous, got the plane ticket and going for a long weekend. And we roll up, and my dad looks at me, and he always called me Willie. And he said, "Well, my God, Willie, that thing's nothing but a crop duster." And I said, "What?" Because I was going to be going from Tri-Cities to Charlotte, and then a layover from there to Jacksonville. So that did not calm my nerves. And I looked at him, I said, "Dad," I said, "I don't know." I said, "What if we get hijacked?" And he looks at me just as serious.
Oh, God.
And he said, "Well, really?" He said, "Think of the possibilities of where you could possibly see." He said, "It's hard to tell where they take that plane." He said, "Hard to tell what country you'd end up in. Just think of the adventure." And I was like, Okay, Dad. Okay. So get on the plane, get up in the air. Back then I smoked. Tucked that seatbelt off, lit me a cigarette, and had no sooner put it out than they said, return your seat back to the upright position and prepare for. I thought, what? My dad had not had time to get from Tri-Cities Airport back home, and I was getting ready to land in Charlotte. And I was like, okay. So had a 2-hour layover, scared to death I was going to miss my connection.
Of course. Yes.
So I get, straight to the bathroom, straight to where I knew I had to be, and I sat down. There was no one around.
Yeah,
And after
I
I had a 2-hour layover. Well, over an hour into this of sitting there, people watching, I had no earthly idea. You got to remember, my dad was in the Army and the Navy, but both before he married my mom. So I wasn't, and I was from Kingsport, Tennessee. I wasn't used to men in uniforms. Everybody was a soldier. And this guy walked by, and I thought, well, I wonder where that little soldier's going. And he came over, and he sat down in the area where I was.
He's going to Camp Lejeune.
And then here comes another one. And then here come another one. And I thought, oh, Lord, where am I going? I'm on the wrong flight.
As long as they weren't going to Fort Leavenworth, you were okay.
I had no earthly idea that I did not associate, even though the relative I was going to see had been in the Marine Corps, that was still before my time.
Uh-huh.
I had never known him as a Marine. He was just my cousin and lived in Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Wow.
So here they all get on the plane with me. And I thought, oh, Lord, where am I going? Still had not a clue about Camp Lejeune. And we landed, and back in the day, they brought your luggage in like through the hole in the back, the open window thing in the back of the airport. And I can remember standing there thinking, I'm from the hills, and I went to Green Acres. I mean,
Green
I went from country to country. But that's my first flying experience.
Wow.
Going by myself from here to Jacksonville.
What's the best joke that's ever been pulled on you on April Fool's Day?
Oh, I imagine she's got some jokes.
Pulled on me?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Somebody's got one by you. What's the best one you've done? Has Terry suffered at your hands?
No.
Oh my
The
God!
way she said
I can tell you,
that,
she's lying right now without even looking at her eyes.
I feel the heat coming through the
The
phone.
best one I get pulled on somebody was when Mom decorated cakes at New River in the back.
That's bakery.
And yeah, that's a long time ago. And I took one of the towels back there in her cake room and wet it and wrapped it around my hand and poured red
No, you did not.
food coloring on it and went running down the back hall screaming. I said, oh my God, I've cut it off. I've cut it off. I've cut it off. And I was just shaking. And there was 2 or 3 people that I thought was going to pass out. But yeah, I pretended like I had cut my hand off. But
And what did she do?
who, Mom?
Yeah.
She laughed.
I'm sure she
She said,
did.
here, you need some more. Wrap it this way. She was in on it.
My mama would have. She would have beat my backside to a pulp for scaring
Oh
her.
no, this is Terry's mama. And she was
My
near
cousin, first
as-
cousin.
See, I lost my mom when I was 20.
Oh my goodness.
So that was when my cousin had come up for Mama's funeral and stuff, that kind of got, into the, well, you need to come over and see us.
Right.
For, long weekend kind of stuff. And and that's how I met Terry. And then a year later, we got married. And I met him in September of '86. We got married in September of '87. The rest is history. I was the
What,
best thing
what
that
she's
ever
not
happened to
what
me.
she's not telling
You
you
know.
is the truth. Here's the truth. She came here to visit a relative, okay,
Wow.
and came from Kingsport, Tennessee. Found out when she got here there were no return flights. Nobody and nothing went back to Tennessee from North Carolina. Period. Isn't that true?
Well, let me ask you something. Where are we currently living?
How'd you get there? You didn't fly back, did you?
No, we drove. We drove.
She finally found a map that said Kingsport written on it, so she got the map and finally found her way home.
I am one of those very, very, very fortunate and blessed ladies that I had a mother-in-law that was as near
Oh,
of a mother than anybody could ever have.
yeah, she
I
was
mean,
a
I
great
had-
woman.
I'll tell you how much of a mom she was.
Mm-hmm.
I had a man stand me down years ago,
Uh-huh.
and he said, I met your mom this past week. And I said, no, sir. I said, that'd be my mother-in-law. And he said, no, it was your mom. She decorates the cake. And I looked at him and I said, well, no, sir. I said, you're talking about my mother-in-law. And that man looked at me and actually said, no, I'm pretty sure it was your mom.
Oh, wow.
And I said, well, sir, I said, how was she doing? Because she died in 1985.
Ooh.
And he looked at me and I thought, look, bud, you asked for it.
Yeah, he did.
It was my mother-in-law. But yeah, we had that relationship.
Yep.
We really did. We had that relationship.
nice.
I was very, very blessed to have her.
Right.
You know, I went to her wedding in the 1950s,
Wow.
Really?
early 60s. I forgot which it
Well,
was.
I delivered I walked, drove her and delivered your wedding cake, sir.
I know that.
Most certainly did.
Wow.
Yep.
hmm
For Robbie and me.
Yep,
She could make a
Yep.
cake
sure did.
that would make you slap people if they got in your way to get to
Wow.
it.
Wow.
Not a
Yep.
problem.
She
And I
made a lot
probably
of
had
cakes.
once or twice. She's made a lot of cakes.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Sure did. She
Nice.
sure did. Well, y'all have a great
You
day.
You do the
too.
same.
Thank
and
you.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, Jennifer. Offshore today might be best just to wait on shore. Don't. It's, small craft advisors are going to go into effect this afternoon, but it's building now, so I wouldn't go. Not this morning. You might start catching fish and get caught up in bad weather.
Yes.
It's going to last through tomorrow afternoon. Southerly winds today, 10 to 15 knots. In the beginning, seas 4 to 6 feet. 5-foot waves from the southeast every 10 seconds. Going to meet up with some 4-footers coming from the south every 6 seconds. Makes for a really, really sloppy ocean. Don't want to go there. Sounds and rivers going to have a moderate chop. Stay inside so you can get back to the docks kind of quickly if you need to. Westerly winds 15 to 20 tomorrow. Gust to 25, becoming northeasterly 5 to 10 in the afternoon. That's when they will drop the small craft advisory. Seas 5 to 7 feet, subsiding to 4 to 5 in the afternoon near shore. Seas 3 to 5 in the morning. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a light chop in the afternoon. Finally on Wednesday, hump day. High pressure should return before. Why'd you look at me like that? High pressure should return before morning on Wednesday. Easterly winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas 3 to 4 feet. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop.
And today we have a chance of showers this morning. Cloudy, then gradually becoming mostly sunny with a high near 79. South wind 5 to 11 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low around 57. Tuesday, mostly sunny, high near 73. Wednesday, mostly sunny, high near 76. Now, I have a question to ask you, Mr. Weatherman.
Let me go ahead and finish up that just a little bit. There is a possibility of some kind of severe weather.
Yes.
Most of it's going to stay to the west, the other side
Yes.
of Highway 17. That's the good thing.
Yes.
Bad thing is we got a lot of us who live near that.
Right.
I live within spitting distance of 17.
I live almost on it. Yep.
So, there's a possibility. hail. We could have some hail up to dime size, they say.
Right.
We can have damaging wind gusts, and there is always under conditions when bad meets good weather, an isolated tornado or two are possible.
That's the thing that worries me about with it
Yes.
turning mostly sunny because you're heating up the atmosphere.
Okay.
But
Now,
here's a question
ask
for
me
you.
something.
Here's a question for you.
Seven.
Okay, just looking at the weather today. And it says a chance of showers this morning, which we know that. And then it's supposed to clear or get cloudy. And we have the chance of early evening showers and thunderstorms. And then it goes in tonight's weather is showers and thunderstorms. Okay, when does tonight's forecast actually separate from today's forecast?
6:37 p.m.
Okay, I always wondered that. I do you really know, or you just?
No, he's right.
At 6:37 p.m. You didn't know that?
I always thought 6
Really?
o'clock.
Oh,
But I
no,
wasn't
they
sure.
They can't do it exact.
I mean, I knew it was a real thing, but I'm thinking, I know I would always say like late afternoon showers into early evening,
No.
but they don't say that on the weather. They just say today and then
Yeah.
tonight.
Well, you have to be in the know. You have got to have studied this kind of stuff to know how the weather service.
Well, that's what I
works.
said. I always thought around 6 p.m., but it was just a question I wanted to bring up. For our listeners who don't know the difference between today and tonight. Tonight starts 6:37 o'clock in weather, in Weatherland.
That's
Okay, got it?
That's 1837. Do you want to know what time that is? GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, or
No,
Zulu
we're
time?
not going to start that. Not at all.
It's 4 hours later. It's at GMT. When we have daylight time.
It's bad enough where I'm waiting for a podcast to come on and they say, we're going to start at 5 o'clock, CMT, GMT, whatever. And I say, Alexa, what time will it be? What time is it in so-and-so right now?
Okay.
And then I have to do all that, as Homer Spring would say, algebra in my head. So,
For those that like to really know about it, you've got this system coming from the west moving this way, and then we're going to have this low pressure system sitting off our coast. Now, that may help us a little
well,
bit.
you've got all those fronts dipping down from the north too.
That needs to be green.
Now,
for me to do it
I
the
love
right way.
weather. I love weather, and I'm a weather geek, and especially during the H season. Yeah, I will
Speaking,
follow that.
speaking of H,
I already got my April Fool's thing out of the way, haven't I?
yeah,
That's a total lie, what I told you. And
You're
and he
terrible.
verified it. That's the bad part. When you,
You're letting me let the listeners think y'all just learned something. No, seriously, then I want to know, when does night become night? When does evening become evening? 9 p.m.? When is it no longer day weather and becomes night weather?
when it's dark and you
All right,
see
we're
the
looking
North
this
Star.
up. I'm
When you
not.
do see the North Star.
I'm calling National
you know, it's
Weather.
interesting.
there's nothing we can tell her now she's going to buy. You know that, right?
Well, no, this is true because well, I don't know if it's true, but
Your version of the truth.
yeah,
Your
But
eyes were acting weird.
this
so.
was interesting that President Trump has figured out a way to have a third term.
I heard that. No,
Yeah.
seriously.
No, this is
It is in there. You can look it up.
Yep.
It's on Fox News. Okay.
Yep.
But the one that's interesting is the vice president gets elected president and then turns it over to Trump.
Do you really think that J.D. Vance, if he was to get elected president, he's going to turn it over to Trump? No. He's going to want it all.
That was just one of their plans.
All right.
That's not a plan. That's a scheme.
Yeah,
And it's
well,
not
no.
going to happen. It's to
No.
keep their enemy off guard, keep them talking. I mean, it's kind of like, I like to throw out baloney too from time to time,
Yeah.
just to see where it sticks. I
Okay,
try
it
to throw out
becomes
a lot.
night. It becomes night when the sun sets.
Well, that's what I said. When it gets dark, the sun is set and the North Star is up there. If it's not cloudy,
I'm calling Les. I'm calling Les. I'm going to have him call in tomorrow.
6:37 o'clock.
He's a guy that gets up as early as we do. So do you think that he's going to know anything?
Well,
Think
yeah.
about that for just a minute.
That was good. 6:37 o'clock.
What? You guys will pay for this dearly.
I told you about
You-
the girl and the pig picking, right? My producer.
I'm not even going there.
You did I not tell you that story?
I've heard this story.
You called it a pig picking.
Yeah.
Usually it's dead.
Yeah, well, no, but they advertise pig pickings around here, right?
Right.
I had a producer. She was from up north, way up north. Just as sweet as she could be. Her name was Larissa. She asked me one day, she said, and she'd been with me for maybe a year, 8 months, a year, whatever, producer for one of the shows, morning, I think. And she said, what is this thing I keep reading about down here in the South, about pig pickings? Well, that dude that wears that long, he got the tail, that's the devil tail, and he got that pitchfork. He came in and tapped me. He said, yeah, go ahead and do it. And I did. I said, Larissa, that's, he's probably not going to like it, but that's where you've heard of grease pole, where guys go out to these cronies and stuff like that. They climb this grease pole to get the money and stuff like that. How about, same, we have that. How about them chasing a pig around? I've heard about that. They grease this pig down and they try to catch it, right?
Yeah.
And if they can catch it and hold on to the squealing pig, then they get the prize. Yeah, that's the way it works. Well, here's what happens. Four other guys will get in there and they will catch this pig sooner or later. And they each will grab him by a leg and they will take him over to the grill and they tie him down on the grill by his legs. They put an apple into his mouth to keep from hearing him squeal. Then they light the fire. And her eyes are getting bigger and bigger. No. I said, yeah, it's down here in the South. I'm calling PETA. I'm calling Humane Society. No. And then my anchor, who had been around forever, and Ken Murphy, and he's sitting up there in the front, and he's listening to all this and not laughing. He was stoic. And she said, Murph, yeah, you know what a pig picking is? And he repeated the story pretty much. Oh, my God. I'm going to complain. I'm calling somebody. I couldn't stand it anymore in the newsroom. I left, went up to my boss's office, the general manager. I told him, and he cracked up. Is she that gullible? I said, So about 15, 20 minutes goes by, and he comes strolling down into the newsroom. And she said, Mr. Davis, yeah, I've heard this story about pig pickings down here in the South. I know you're not from around here. What is this pig picking? So he repeats the story. She's ready to leave, go back north. So we all had a big laugh at her expense. And just as she got off shift, we told her, I thought we were going to have to fight.
Welcome to the South.
Yeah, we got you.
That's no Lee.
I just noticed your weather indicator over there. Do you know it's 79 degrees in here?
It's hot.
It warmed up quick. I was sitting here thinking, feels a little muggy, which I'm fine. But, I just wow, it's been a long
time. Open the door over there if you
I'm
like.
fine, unless you gentlemen want me to open the door. I'm great. No, but I'm just thinking to myself, it's been a long time since I've seen that.
Well, I'm fine.
3 or 4 months.
Specially made fabric for the Crime Stopper shirt.
Well, that's why I have one. It's actually a shirt for golfers. That So, but
I have plenty of those.
Very nice. Speaking of flying, speaking of weather, I have news. First, a SpaceX doubleheader Starlink
What's that got to do with weather?
Well, it depends on the weather today, whether or not they launch. Keep up. Says a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket is set to lift off from Cape Canaveral this afternoon, which could be the first of a double header. I'm all into this space stuff. Should the launch lift off?
Why a double header?
Well, what they're going to do is they're going to shoot off. Let me see. Okay, we got to wait on weather conditions, but the Monday afternoon rocket launch will be carrying the latest batch of SpaceX's Starlink internet satellites. That's how we get Starlink. Depending on the weather, it could be a good Monday afternoon for those watching from Cape Canaveral. Then, if all goes well there, they're going to be launching tonight a rocket that will be containing 4 astronauts that are going to actually orbit around the Earth. Yeah, that's supposed to take place at 9:46.
It's going to be too dark then. They can't launch because it's dark.
No, the weather will be gone by then, but in Florida. But you can go on.
Scattered thunderstorms.
This is all
Okay.
Elon stuff now.
So these things, this is something that always bugged me. These things are going to hit speeds of like 17,000 miles an hour.
oh yeah,
And they can't penetrate a few clouds, a little bit of rain here and there
yeah.
when they take off.
Well, unless it's lightning, they don't
Well, there
want
are
to be going up
scattered
there.
thunderstorms for that time
That's right.
tonight.
Well,
Is there?
what's
Cape
It's gonna-
Canaveral? Yeah.
Yeah, it's all gonna be you
I
watch.
mean, planes don't go. I mean, planes keep flying when there's thunderstorms around. So this spaceship that runs 50,000 miles a second can't get through.
Wow. Can you imagine though owning a company where you have your own rockets to take up your satellites into outer space for your internet that you offer people? Can you imagine?
Did you ever build a rocket or anything?
Can
Did you ever have one?
a rocket?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They used to have one that I thought was pretty cool. You hook it to a water hose and you let it, and then you fill it up with water and then you pump it with an air pump. You had a retired bicycle pump, they called them in those days. You pump it up where that water was, and then you touch the button and it shoots off all that water, and the pressurized water comes out, and that sucker would go up 100 feet.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw that. I'm
Yeah.
not familiar with that.
That was fun.
How would you like to be able to do what Musk did yesterday and just give two people $1 million? Here you go. Here you go. Not miss it.
I'm not here waiting for you. Come on in. We'll let you sit down.
Can I find out where he's going to be soon
soon.
so I can just go trip on the sidewalk in front of him or something? Like,
So,
I can't afford the hospital. Here's $1 million.
Okay.
Man,
You would have had to been in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
It's not
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, these people that are protesting Tesla because
Oh,
Elon
God.
Musk owns it, it's just
He
like,
owns a part of it.
Stop. Yeah, he's the largest shareholder.
Of
He's in
13%, right?
Yeah, he's a controlling shareholder. But hey,
What are you doing for the other 87% of the people that own interest in that thing? You're making, what have they done to you?
that's right. Exactly. That's what I'm trying
Well,
to
you
say.
guys are idiots.
Yeah, why? I mean, now the big thing is, what do we went from Bud Light? What is it now that they're protesting?
There's no telling today.
Oh gosh,
I don't know.
Something just
The
came up
other
with
thing,
protesting.
they got
now.
a term that I heard last night or yesterday, auto turfing or something.
Oh, is that where there? Is that the one where they're stealing cars by?
Astroturfing.
Okay.
Astroturfing. Oh, that's and they say it's about the attack on Tesla. But what they're doing is there are people, as we have found, as reporters have found from time to time, who are in these protest crowds. A legitimate reporter can go in and start asking, "What are you protesting? What's going on?" I don't know. I was paid $400 to be here.
I remember what it was. It's Yeti. Yeti, the company that
coolers?
makes Yetis that Steve
coolers.
Cullen. Yeah, and the thermoses, and the reason why is because there was a very conservative women's group who ordered some Yetis that were,
Oh God!
had words and stuff on it,
Yeah,
and
mine's
because
got
it was
Yeti on it.
and the thing about it is that Yeti is saying we're not making anything that's got a political message on it. So they denied this group of women who have always ordered from them before. And so now people are protesting Yeti. I'm going to tell you what, I have a Yeti. I have several Yetis. I paid like, not this one, like $30-something for. And I went to Walmart and got a big Bubba for less than $10 that's bigger. And it keeps my stuff as cold or as hot as a Yeti
I've
does.
got a number of
Don't
Yeti
fall for
coolers, the big
me.
ones, and all that sort of good
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
It's great for holding ice all day long if
Right.
you know how to pack them.
Right. Right.
Any cooler. And this one's not a Yeti, and it keeps my ice all day long.
Well, it used to be we'd go to the state conventions. My friend Kevin and I, he was chairman at the time, and we'd stop at Walmart and got us some big Bubbas, and we would pack it full of ice and drink, and it would last all day. In fact, you could go to sleep at night, wake up the next morning, you still have ice. But big Bubba, and it was less than $10.
Cold room she lives in.
So I quit buying Yetis.
Why? Whatever. Steve, what are you doing Thursday night?
What up, Steve?
Hey, Steve.
Oh, Thursday night, not sure yet.
Oh, well, I got a couple of tickets if you want to go to Wilmington and see Jason Moore
Justin Moore.
Justin
yes.
Moore.
Yep. He was
Justin Moore.
close.
I was going to say Jason Moore. I don't know. I've heard of him.
Well, you can see his brother Justin too.
Yeah.
I got you. I probably wouldn't be able to attend that because my wife has to work on Thursday and she won't get off in time.
Well, then I'll just give you one ticket.
Yeah.
Take your grandbaby.
You might want to give me. You might want to give me a gift certificate to a divorce lawyer too.
Well, I'm sure you. How about a kid? You could take a kid with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not going to
Probably
happen.
right too.
What's on your minds?
Yeah.
You have any? You pulling any good jokes tomorrow on anybody?
No, I've never really participated in the whole April Fool's thing. I don't know why.
Goodness
I just,
gracious.
I don't know.
You're kind of boring there, Steve.
I ain't know. I've just never. I don't understand how that's actually a holiday.
Have
But
you
I
had
did
one
it.
pulled
It's
on you?
fun.
Have you had one pulled on
Yeah,
you?
it's all in good. Not that I can remember. I mean, I've
Well,
heard of a lot of different ones, but I've never experienced one personally. I guess nobody around me really
Don't start,
is
Rayford.
into it either. So,
where's your car going to be tonight?
tonight it's going to be in the driveway, I think.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, just to be sure that you know, nighttime is between 6:30 and 7.
Stop. Steve, you'll take up for me,
Man,
won't you?
I would say you can Google it, but generally afternoon is after 4 p.m. before sunset, and then night is at sunset.
You go to Nolan's. Anything after 12:01 p.m. is evening.
What do you
Believe
do
it
in
or not.
Alaska?
You go crazy during
Is
some
it
parts of the year.
Sunny thunderstorms 24/7?
Yeah.
What's up?
Look, guys, I wanted to ask y'all about something, and because I don't quite understand it, maybe y'all know something about it. I don't. What is the deal with the administration going on and on about Canada being the 51st state? I thought it was a joke at first, but now I've heard the press secretary come out and seriously say that that's their best plan is for them to become the 51st state.
Oh, if that's
And
the best,
just recently this
Yes.
weekend,
if that's the best plan the administration's got, there's some sadly lacking personnel there somewhere.
I don't even pay attention to that. I think it's
don't disagree
ridiculous.
with you there, but I mean, them even saying this, what's up with them?
It's to get
What
your
is it all
goat,
about?
Steve. It's to find out where you parked your goat and then go get your goat.
Maybe it's to force them
Well,
into
I
the
thought that too.
tariffs.
I thought that too until the press secretary came out and said it during a press conference. Is that I mean, she was dead serious about it.
Mhm.
She didn't crack a smile. She didn't. She was like, that's Canada's best path is to become the 51st state.
Well,
Also, this
That's
weekend,
kinda like-
Trump did an interview. One more thing on that same note, Trump did an interview this weekend, and I thought the whole Greenland thing was maybe them just playing that same game.
Right.
But he said this weekend that he won't going to rule out military action to annex Greenland.
I think
That's what the
Greenland.
President of the United States said that.
The folks in Greenland are kind of leaning. They would like to have that happen. That's the thing about Greenland.
I think you need to look further into that.
Uh-huh.
There's a small minority up there that maybe agree with that, but
Yeah.
the majority don't.
Because
My
now,
thing is,
was it Denmark that owns Greenland? I think that's the
Yeah.
parent company. Whatever. Now they don't want it, but if the people decide that okay, we can secede and then we can do whatever. I don't know. I don't know how that would work. Somebody's
I get what you're saying.
somebody's been doing some talking, and I don't know who it is.
I get what you're saying, but when he says that he's not going to rule out military action to annex Greenland,
No, I don't
that's
think
not them agreeing to us, to them becoming part of the United States. That's us. Honestly, it's the same thing Putin wants from Ukraine. He just wants them to be the 51st state of Russia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't see a distinction between the two other than once he said he's willing to use military action to do it, that's the same thing Putin's doing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what
Steve,
is going on up there
I don't think
in that
that,
White House?
Steve, I don't think the Canada thing, it's just a lot of talk. What are you going to do?
I don't
You're going to say,
believe it. Right.
Mr. Prime Minister, you're no longer Prime Minister, you're now a governor. Man,
Right.
it's not happening.
No, I don't believe that happened. Just like I don't believe Greenland would
I
happen.
understand what you're saying, but what I don't understand is the ridiculousness and the unseriousness of this administration to be saying such a thing. What in the world is going on up there? I mean, do we not have enough serious problems that we need serious people addressing instead of running around making all these what everybody thinks is jokes?
Mm-hmm.
I I mean, what is going on? How is this smart?
Go ahead.
I don't think it's. I mean, me personally, I don't think it's funny, and why it's waste. It is a waste of time. There is more important things to do. And I'm not going to defend it because it's dumb. I mean, there's so many other things that need addressing right now.
I appreciate that honesty. There's a lot of people that think it's smart, and I don't understand that. I don't know how anybody could look at this and say this is smart. Nobody voted to have us try and start an economic war with Canada to make them the 51st state. Nobody voted for us to, use military to annex Greenland or any other country. I don't believe.
First of all, using military action to go after, to annex, would be taking somebody else's, and that's a declaration of war. That would be and that's not going to happen. First of all, he cannot declare war. You understand that, right? I don't care what kind of executive actions there are, he will be stopped.
I would agree under normal circumstances, but the Republicans in Congress are not a check and balance against him necessarily. They're more like cheerleaders for him. So I don't know that if he wanted to do it, they wouldn't go along with it.
No, they're not, because they have their own futures to deal with, and every one of them wants to be reelected, and they would not be. Whoever would even support a war declaring war against somebody to take over their land, their property, is going to be doomed.
One of the reasons I don't think it's going to happen. Okay, I had a chance to meet some fine folks from Canada in the Dominican Republic, of all places, and they were just talking about how beautiful Canada is.
It's cold.
To them it's nothing. 9 feet of snow is nothing.
Good for them. Keep it.
They cut it out and throw it on chunks in their yard, but they were just worried about the tariffs, and I think personally, 25% should come down. See, you know what? You got me dumbfounded because I don't know why they're wasting time with these stupid suggestions, because it's just not going to happen. I mean, it's
right.
It's not.
I was going to say I appreciate that, and I hope y'all would understand how critics of this administration are, more than dumbfounded about it. They're actually upset about it, and I can't argue with people on that. I can't argue that. Just like y'all, I can't argue that fact against that. It's ridiculous. And, even if say right now, I agree with every criticism everybody's had of the previous administration. How are people ignoring what's going on right under their nose today? I just don't understand. If you want to be critical of the administration, I agree with that. I encourage that, but not to be critical of one and then be blind to the next.
I think they think it's so absurd. They're just not wasting their time on absurdity.
Well, and not only that, Steve, actually, there are people who are being extremely critical of the administration. You want to go to those Tesla dealers where the cars are set on fire? Yeah. How about the protests that are out there? How about the protests that we've seen here? How about the protests all over the country? So they're not sitting back doing nothing. They are protesting. Some of them violently.
I should say the political bias of the protest, that they only protest the people they never protest the people they vote for. Or they don't seem to have the same vigor with protesting the people they vote for on both sides. I'm not trying to point to any one side. I noticed it from being in the middle that nobody wants to call their own balls and fouls.
No.
Nobody wants to call out their own team. And in politics, you have to call your own balls and strikes. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like it's a dysfunctional system at this point.
Okay. All right, Steve, I've got to run. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Have a good day, Steve.
Y'all have a blessed day.
You too. We'll be right back.
The 78th Annual North Carolina Azalea Festival is proud to present Justin Moore.
That's why we drink. Here's to the ones who didn't make it back home. You look like I need a drink.
Thursday, April 3rd at Live Oak Bank Pavilion in Wilmington with Cameron Marlowe,
Cause I'm giving you
Justin Moore.
somebody else will find.
Thursday, April 3rd in Wilmington. Tickets on sale now at ncazaleafestival.org. Also performing at this year's North Carolina Azalea Festival, Florida, the 78th annual North Carolina Azalea Festival.
Thanks in part to New Hanover Printing and Publishing. For all your sign and printing needs, contact New Hanover Printing and Publishing at newhanoverprinting.com. By the stunning Hotel Palace Tapestry Collection by Hilton in historic downtown. Proud hotel of the North Carolina Azalea Festival. And Wicked Wheat Brewing. Enjoy Twist, our Belgian white ale or fresh pernicious IPA.
Justin Moore. Tickets on sale now at ncazaleafestival.org.
And you don't even have to go there right now because I got a couple of tickets to the first person who calls. They can go on Thursday night. This Thursday night, it's at 8 o'clock in Wilmington for the Justin Moore concert. Do what?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, I
Well,
just
that's what I
looked it
said,
up.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, I just looked it up, and the show, I'm sure it'll be a pre-show will start at 7. So it's 7 o'clock.
So get on by. Come on, give us a call. And if you want to go see it, I got a couple of tickets right now for you.
That's nice of you to give. Those are $90.
That'd be a $90
Absolutely.
set of tickets for you. And if you are really nice and you want to call and you're up here real fast and you've got like 2 other people you want to go, you need 4.
Yes.
I might even arrange to acquire a couple more tickets for you. 910-333-0139. Give me a call. Let me know that you would like to have these tickets in. You know what? I'll see what I can do to make it happen just for you.
Yeah. And Steve, thanks for the call. By the way, somebody had asked to ask you if you like spaghetti. Me, personally, I like lasagna, but I don't.
I like it all,
Why is
except
everybody
I do
talking
not
about
like that
lasagna
canned,
lately?
that canned spaghetti.
No, that's
Pour the canned spaghetti out, and there ain't nothing you
No.
can do to that stuff to make it taste good.
so many people talking
It's-
about spaghetti lately. I mean,
Chef
lasagna.
And
spaghetti.
Mamma mia.
I like spaghetti, but I like it made the right way.
I miss
My
Brooklyn
sauce.
Spaghetti House.
Oh, weren't they wonderful?
Yeah, and they had 3 different locations. They had
Yes.
the first one was the Brooklyn Spaghetti House on 24th there near New River Drive, Hargett Street.
Yeah,
Just down the road.
it was right up there next to like Sam's Used Furniture,
Mhm.
wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, close to that.
Yes.
The hard breadsticks.
Their food was delicious. I used to go in there and
so
get
good.
oh my God, $3.25, and you could get a pork cutlet and spaghetti.
Mm.
I didn't get the veal cutlet. Their pork cutlet was really
Oh,
tasty. They get that and spaghetti, and then the sauce that goes with it.
Mhm.
I didn't want the Parmesan. I got without the cheese.
Right.
Yeah, but
Joy.
later on I liked it with the cheese.
Joy.
Parmigiana.
Parmigiana. What was the place that was
$3.25 for
Henderson Drive? It closed right after the hurricane hit Florence.
Paisanos.
Paisanos. I kept wanting to say panache, and I knew that was
It's
wrong.
not it.
Paisanos. Yes.
Paisanos. But
They
anyway,
were good.
Brooklyn, they moved,
were
Mr.
so
Carboni, they moved over to Western Boulevard.
Yes.
They outgrew their location. They figured out, okay, well, they're trying to take over this place anyway. And it was a very old building.
Weren't they on 17th South at one time next
No,
to the driver's
That was Paisano.
license?
But anyway, Brooklyn Spaghetti House went over
Yeah.
to Western
was one.
Boulevard. And then the next thing I knew, they had downsized and went over to Henderson Drive for just a short while. And then the next time I was up here visiting, they were gone.
So when you were thinking about Bruno Marino,
That's right.
Oh, that was
Bruno.
way back
Yeah.
then, yeah.
Yeah.
But then Paisanos moved out to where the prison camp was,
Right,
which is
right.
now something else, which is going to be something else. I mean, it's-
Nothing stays there.
nothing stays there.
Nothing
Not even the
stays there.
prisoners wanted to stay there. Joy, joy, joy.
Joy to the world.
Good morning.
What's up?
hey Joy,
Hey,
How's
Joy.
everybody doing?
Doing fine.
We're doing good. How about you?
Fat and sassy. What can I say? Look here.
Yes, looky here.
Oh, but looky here. Looky. Hey, did you know? I'm sure you know that. I was listening to an interview. Well, you know, Elon Musk has 14 children, right?
Right.
I don't
And I
know.
was,
Yeah, he
I was
does.
Yeah, he was married 3 times, but he married the one wife 2 times. So actually, well, he says 3, but that would be, I don't know what that would be called.
I think
But
there's a
anyway,
couple he wasn't married to also.
Yes,
Couple baby
exactly,
mamas.
out of wedlock,
Wannabe.
less than children.
Wannabes.
Well, I just read that he was being interviewed, and one of the questions y'all might have seen was, what did he think, basically, what was the downfall for the world or whatever, and it was the lack of children, that we needed more children. Well, I just read that he's expecting his 15th child.
Get a TV show.
He's working on the problem.
Man gets around. I don't know what to
I
say.
mean,
If there are not enough kids, he's trying to do his part.
well,
That's the biggest thing we face in Social Security in years and years to come is the population of the world is decreasing.
Mhm.
It'll be decreased by then.
exactly.
People not paying into the
Exactly.
system. So
But
y'all
this
get
is
out and
really
make
just
more
a-
babies.
Well, he's worried because some of those movie stars are leaving town and they're going to another country. You know,
Right.
I had a couple of end up in Ireland.
Well, Ireland is begging us to
Take them back.
they're begging to say, look, we'll pay the terrorists if you'll just take Rosie O'Donnell back.
Well, this is really a pre-April Fool joke. I don't know. I don't know about no 15th child.
I thought you said 14th, but that's all right.
No, it was 4. He has 14. I just read where he was expecting his 15th.
Oh, maybe he's hoping.
Well, he was in Wisconsin last night, so
Hey, yeah.
I'm not. He's giving away that money, wasn't he?
Cheese and wine will get you every time.
You know what? You know what was so.
Getting ready for-
We used to have visiting British ships to come into Wilmington. You know, the
Yes,
sailors would come in. 9 months later, 9 months later, there were some births, unmarried births in New Hanover. I kid you not, and they were attributed to that boat, those ships that came in every time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The
But
women were waiting on the
internet-
docks. I kid you not.
It's just like all the
You got
military
a
men
uniform. Wow.
come back from the war, and 9 months later, there's additions to the family. I mean, you know,
It would
hey,
be very interesting to see. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Lee.
Yeah, you
It
did.
would
You
be
go ahead.
interesting to see how many babies were born after COVID lock up.
a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
I don't know. Think about this though. Look at the aggravation. The being, people were mad with each other.
I bet domestic
Yeah.
calls
Yeah,
went up during that
I
period.
know.
They were.
But the beginning, maybe they weren't that
Imagine.
mad, and then they got mad. Then they got even mad after they found out in the 9 months what happened.
Yeah. Look what you did.
I can say this. When Dad,
Yeah.
God rest his soul, came home from overseas every 2 years,
Mhm.
a Marks was born.
So has that been brothers?
Well, there was 5. He did at least 5.
And that's why he
Trips
kept
over
being
here.
deployed again too. Right? Get out of here. Got to get out of Dodge.
I hear you.
Excuse me, that was just my free.
Okay.
I just
Thank you.
killing time for your last few minutes. That was all.
All right. We do appreciate it. Dee, why don't you drag that old man, take him down to Wilmington on Thursday night?
So that old man, we'll talk about that old man later.
Okay.
Find another old man who wants to go. I mean, you know.
Yeah, really.
Hey, this is an old woman. I guess I could, but I better not. I'm just going to keep that one to myself.
Okay, you do that.
You
Y'all
have
have a
Theo
good
calling.
Thank
day.
you, Joy. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
You have Theo calling.
Theo's calling. The voice of reason.
Okay.
Hey, Theo.
Deplorables, how we doing?
We're fine, Mr. Adorable. Hope you are.
First of all, tell Elon that there's 8 billion people on this earth. How much more does he want to do?
He's not having any more. That was a joke.
No, he's got 14. He's 14 with 3 women. He's fooling around with 2. He's married once, twice. There's a real leader for you. There's loyalty for you. So he wants 14. He's only 56. We'll see how many more he has before, But there's 8 billion
Jealous?
people on this earth right now. We don't need any more kids, Mr. Genius.
Then why do you
Okay.
why don't you support taking the death penalty to heart and let's eliminate some of those idiots?
Yeah. So, Chris, how are you?
I'm good, Theo. How you doing, my friend?
If Donald Trump talks about Greenland and it's a joke, how come he's sending the vice president there with his wife? Rafer, who's paying for that?
You are.
Exactly. So I didn't hear you say anything about. How come?
I didn't even know what you're talking about. The vice president is going to Greenland.
They've already been.
He already
Vice
went to
President and his
Greenland, my
wife,
friend. Come
Ursula.
on, catch up with the news, baby.
No,
That's why your
no,
commentary is only half. You're not talking about everybody here.
Every trip that the VP takes or that anybody in the department and the administration takes, do you think I'm going to keep up with those?
No, we're talking about Greenland. You said it's a joke. But over the weekend, he sent his vice president. Vice president. If Kamala Harris, you said, would go over there for this joke, you would make a big deal about it. You knew everything about Kamala Harris.
Do you
Should go
think,
to visit the
sir,
wineries.
that we don't have any interest in Greenland right now? Do you know what we have in Greenland right now?
Stop it. Don't promote this crap. Stop it.
No,
all right?
seriously, do you know what we have in Greenland?
First, you said it was a joke. Now, you all of a sudden, you got interest in Greenland. Okay?
No. I'm saying what the United States has a vested interest in Greenland right now, and in any number of other countries. It's a military stronghold for us.
Yeah.
Like Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
If you have a base on there, they told you if you want to increase the base, you're welcome to increase the base. There's no problem on it. And Denmark told you that, and the people in Greenland told you that. Did you know how many people Denmark sent to Iraq? How many people it sent to Afghanistan? And how many people died because of American messes in these countries? That you're treating this country like that? You should look up and see how many people Denmark sent to Afghanistan. How many people died in Afghanistan because of Denmark? Okay? And then you can go and do this kind of stuff.
How many people died in Afghanistan because of Denmark?
Yeah.
Go look it up and see how many.
know
how
what
many,
page did you read that on?
Denmark sent to Afghanistan, and how many people died there?
Theo, somebody just sent me a message and said they heard you had 20 kids. Is that true?
Yes, it is. Chris,
Sir,
how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I hope you are. It's good talking to you last week.
That mess that happened a couple of days ago with the hex test and the vice president of the United States was there too. And that little
called the
chat
cabinet.
that they had. What do you think about that?
The signal, the text debacle.
The what?
The
Textgate.
The testing.
Textgate. Signal gate.
So, they made a mistake.
It's just a mistake?
Well, no, it's a bad mistake. I mean,
And what do you think should happen?
well, I hope they're investigating it, and I hope that
They are
who's ever at the fault of it,
Why
gets
aren't these
terminated.
people relieved of duty till the investigation goes on? All of them.
Who's going to run that department?
The whole
That's your
cabinet.
problem.
The
I
whole
don't
cabinet.
know. I think the whole thing. I mean, while there was
The whole problem,
stupid.
all those
I
people
think
that
it's
were on there,
just blown out. of
Gabbard, who's
proportion.
intelligent,
They had a
didn't
low
even investigate
underling
to
to
see
do
if
this.
this
To do
was
that
Yes.
right.
done right.
Yes.
Okay? All those people should be on leave of absence till the investigation goes on. But I don't hear you guys say anything, and that's what Steve was saying. You got Tulsa. I mean, the cars. You're worrying about the cars and the dealerships from the opposite party, but you're not talking about your own party
We
doing
didn't
some
bring
kind
party
of
into
checking up
it.
and demonstrating. How come?
We never brought party into it. We were just talking about the people that were damaging and destroying the Teslas.
Yeah. Okay. So you assume that it's the Democrats doing
I
this.
never made any
But what
assumption.
Steve was saying, why don't your own people do some demonstrating of what's going on, like the call the other day, security, national security of all those people on that call. They should all be on leave of absence right now, relieved of duty. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm not so. I don't know if they are or not. I would think, if they're on leave of absence. My only problem with leave of absence is if they get it with pay. I mean, because then you're paying somebody to
Leave
do
the
nothing.
duty
You're
then.
talking about the whole cabinet.
If
That's what he's
this had
talking about. He
been-
wants the
the
whole
cabinet?
cabinet to be
No.
on leave of
If
absence.
this had been Joe Biden's administration, would you be saying
Forget
the
about
same?
Joe Biden. We're talking
trying.
about what's going on right now. Forget about what Joe. I could sleep with both eyes closed when Biden was here. He was no threat to me. I'm sleeping with one eye
It's
open
no threat
right
to
now.
anybody.
Okay, I'm sleeping with one eye open right now.
Okay. Well, I hope
All
you
right,
keep
guys.
changing them. It'll dry out.
Next time you're over here, Chris, give us some information on Hexeth and the rest of them. What the country should do about these people.
I will do it.
Because it's going to happen again. And let me tell you another thing, Chris.
Yes,
They're
sir.
destroying what the talk was all about. They're destroying all those records. That is against the law to destroy anything. They're destroying them. Okay?
Destroying
Look
what
it up.
records?
What records are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
The conversations that they're having. All that conversation they're having, it's on an app that it destroys everything that they talked about. Within 2 weeks, all that stuff, whatever they talked
That's
about.
why
will be
they use
destroyed.
it.
Go ahead. You look it up. Look it up.
I'll check it
Talk
out.
to you soon,
Yeah.
guys.
I
Bye.
have Signal, and it does. After a certain amount of time,
It's an
your
automatic.
messages
yeah.
disappear. It's automatic.
Yeah.
It's an encrypted message service. That's like if
That's
I
what it's
was
about.
to, like, say, kill Chris, and they take my phone from me to see if I've had any communications with Chris.
Mhm.
They use Celebrate, which is a service that deciphers everything. If we had been communicating on Signal, they can't get it. Gone, done.
That's the reason murderers like to use it.
Yeah, that's right.
Navy divers have successfully attached a couple of lines to hoist points on a sinking M88 Hercules armored recovery vehicle that was carrying four Army soldiers who had been stationed down at Fort Stewart, I think it was,
Yeah,
down in Georgia.
Yeah.
Training exercise in Lithuania.
Mhm.
They were riding in the vehicle on a scheduled maintenance mission to recover another Army vehicle in the training area when they disappeared. So the Navy divers are there they've hooked lines to it. They're going to try to bring it up and hopefully they will recover the bodies.
Yeah, it's so
So,
sad. So sad.
Okay, there's no such thing as a routine training anything. There's no
No.
such thing as a routine mission. There's no such thing as just routine duty
That's why they're training.
for military, for cops, or anybody else. There's nothing like a routine traffic stop. No such thing, guys. Y'all know it. Okay, we will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early. Chris, thank you. We
Oh,
do
thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thanks
Well,
for the
pleasure.
leaf out there
Really.
that you folks out there can
It's
see on
beautiful.
You're
camera.
welcome.
It's real.
It is real. We can smell it. It smells like Christmas time. It's so nice.
Should hang it on the fence later today and let the
Let the rain get to it.
I will.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Hope the wind
Enjoy.
don't get to it. Okay, we will see you tomorrow morning. I have no idea what we have going on because you haven't told me yet.
It's a surprise.
It's April Fool's
you
Day.
don't- in other
April
words,
Fool's Day.
in other words, you don't know. Is that what you're saying?
I have several people that I'm supposed to call back today.
Oh, I've heard that for 2 weeks.
I know.
Aren't these people going to take
Why do
your
you
call?
think? I've heard it for 2
Oh,
weeks.
Lord of mercy, girl. All right,
Hey.
I know I've got a couple of calls out that
Yeah.
that I got things out, including for a couple of plumbers who have yet to return my calls, people that I pay used to.
My nephew works for a plumber.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Don't you leave from here. You're live and local, real talk. We're always awake, never woken. We'll see you tomorrow
Have a
morning.
great
Be
day.
safe. What?